So, John, I'm here with you. I'm a little bit early. I should be joined by Cooper Hopkins, but I believe he's only going to be able to take the first period. But we will tell you everything that's going on this side. And again, will be along with you alongside the whole thing as far as hopefulsportsguide.wordpress.com per usual. So here's the situation. I'm going to give you the starting lineups for both teams, and I'll tell you exactly what happens after all of that. So for the Nashville Predators, they're 40-31-8. They're fifth in the Central. They are just outside wild card spot number 2, 3 points behind. It's Cody Glass, Zach Sanford, Phil Tomasino, with Ryan McDonagh and Dante Fabro, Tommy Novak, Kiefer Sherwood, Luca Vigencia, Tyson Berry, Jake Livingstone. It's Colton Sissons, Yakov Trenin, and Rasmus Andersson with Mark Jankowski. Looks like I'm going to have to flip a couple of these other ones because Michael McCarron and maybe Spencer Stastny, as far as who's going to be available. It should be Stastny and Foot on the back end for defense. Nashville's all beat up on that side, but we do know Yusei Saros going to get the start in net. So here's the deal for Nashville. If they don't win this game in regulation, they're out. And we will give you the Calgary Flames starting lineup, head coached by Darryl Sutter. Again, they're 37, 27, and 16. Sounds the same because it is the same. Elias Lindholm, Dillon Dube, Tyler Toffoli, Mackenzie Weegar, and Rasmus Andersson. Mikael Backlund, Jonathan Huberdeau, Andrew Mangiapane, Noah Hanifin, and Christopher Tanev. Nazem Kadri, Nick Ritchie, Blake Coleman, Trevor Lewis, Milan Lucic, Walker Duehr, Nikita Zadorov, Troy Stetcher, and Jacob Markstrom in net. If the Flames don't win this game in regulation, they're out. So for everything that we talked about for the previous game between the Winnipeg Jets and how much it mattered, Flames did pick up 2 big points. They had to have those. The unfortunate thing for the Flames the other day was they lost in overtime to the Vancouver Canucks, and that was a big point that they lost. So because of the Jets spanking the Sharks right now, it's currently 6-2 in the third. No way really for them to lose that game. If the Flames don't win this game in regulation, they're out. If the Preds don't win this game in regulation, they're out. The Preds are going to need a lot more help, admittedly, because they're 2 points even behind the Flames. So they would need to win this game and also get help. The Flames might need the Jets to lose 1, which is still possible. They do hold the tiebreaker over the Winnipeg Jets, which is important, but it's got to be 2 points tonight for the Flames. It's got to be 2 points tonight for Nashville. Nashville can't get it, they're done. If the Flames can't get it, they're done. If the Flames do win this game, they might need the Jets to lose another one of these ones just to be able to stay into it. So that is what's important right now. Both teams need a regulation win, so this should mean a lot. As we talked about on the other end for Nashville, it is a mash unit. When you're thinking about their injuries, I'll just go through the names quickly before we go through the lineups. Matt Duchene, Roman Josi, Philip Forsberg, Jimmy Lozon, Cole Smith, Juuso Parssinen. That is all just out from the Monday, April 10th side. They've all been injured or just shut down for the rest of the year, considering. And what we do know going into that for next season, there should still be a little bit of a bounce back for the Preds because they sold at the deadline. They've still been pretty competitive as just outside wildcard spot numero dos. And Barry Trotz returns to the organization. He will be the new general manager when it's all said and done, when the season kicks off again next year. Because the only general manager that they've ever known on that side of it, David Poile, he's done. He's going to retire. And Barry Trotz will take over. Nashville's successfully sold at the deadline and recouped a lot of assets. So that should kind of pull things into a power move going forward into next year. When you think any spots and teams that fall in, fall out. We expected the Jets to kind of make that push. Well, Nashville did what they needed to do, and they've still been competitive considering everything that's been out. So that's been ultimately impressive. As Cooper and I talked about, it's one of the situations where you know what the Flames are this year, you know what they are next year. After that, there is no certainty as far as this team being kept together. So Calgary is going to enjoy the final 2 games at the Saddledome of the regular season, and it's really up to the Jets and more so up to the Flames to get wins in this game and the next game because they play Wednesday against the Sharks. You figure that would be easy, but nothing's been easy this year. If they don't get the next 4 points and don't get a little bit of help from the Jets, it's going to be the Jets and wild card numero dos, and that'll be it. It'll be Seattle and the Jets. Unless the Kings continue to screw up here, they might end up in the wild card spot, and the Kraken will take third. And they might take that because that way they don't have to play against the Colorado Avalanche. So that is everything that is up in front of you as we are into the Canadian National Anthem now. When Cooper does join in, I will get him in. I'm probably going to let him take hold of the play-by-play in the first, just because he's going to have to leave a little bit early, and then I will take it the rest of the way. As far as our intermissions and everything else, I will keep you abreast of all the NHL games. The Jets and Sharks have just gone final. It's a 6-2 win for the Jets. So once this does update, I'll just click refresh here. Nonetheless, it has updated. So the Jets have 93 points and wildcard spot numero dos. The Calgary Flames have 90. They've got to win to keep pace. They'll be at 81 games at the end of the night. The Jets will still have a game in hand, and they'll still be playing Minnesota and Colorado. I'm going to have the Minnesota game with you tomorrow in between the Jets and the Wild. As far as Wednesday and Thursday, that's going to be up in the air depending on if Cooper's available and the playoff races. It could be an NBA playing game on Wednesday, and Thursday we will figure that out. As far as the weekend side, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm going to be pretty busy. So it's going to be today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, most likely. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm not going to be available. After that, though, it'll be the first round of the playoffs getting underway, and I'll have the playoff capsules and everything else ready to go. So it's going to be busy on the time of the channel, but you'll get a little bit of reprieve from my voice on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Depending on who you ask, that might be a good thing. So you say Saros, 31, 23, and 7, 270 goals against, 918 save percentage with a pair of shutouts. And on the back end, per usual, is Jacob Markstrom, 23, 21, 11, 294 goals against. He's got that down for 3, 892 save percentage, and 1 shutout. Again, as we get under puck trap, everything has been introduced. You have the goalies, you have the lineups, and everything else that I've given you. It is a win in regulation. Flames have to have it to keep their season alive. So do the Preds. Any one of these lose that, it's done. So we're underway now. Noah Hanifin will flip this in as the Flames get this in the offensive end as they'll make a back pass, put this D to D. Hanifin thinks about the shot off the slow deflection, and this goes now toward the right side boards where Chris Tanev will take a look at it. Tanev will get it back now. I'll try to send this to the net as this played off the backhand back to Hanifin. Now on the left wing side, it's Blake Coleman from a severe angle. It went off the right blocker of Yusei Saros. Pinball back to Tanev. Looks for another deflection. Yusei Saros immediately is going to elect to slow this down a little bit. 19:28 in the first. John here with you on the play-by-play. I should be joined by Cooper Hopkins for a little bit in this first, but likely not for the entire game. But as we said, we get into the intermission part of it. I will keep you abreast of any scoring updates, let you know exactly what's available because both wild cards in the East and the West, respectively, have heated up considerably. It's going to take game 82 to decide everything. As far as the other 6 locks, those are pretty much already done, and Seattle has got a wild card spot box. So just 1 in the West, 2 in the East. So this is a face-off loss in the offensive zone as this will go back to Nashville. They'll try to get a piece of it as Nikita Zadorov and his stick will play this off the backhand. I'll pick it back up to the neutral zone now. There isn't going to be as many callouts on my end for Nashville, but here's a shot. Markstrom down, already doing a snow angel. It makes this save with the right pad. So if there's any sort of start and wonder how Jacob Markstrom's going to do, he already had answered the bell. Afanaseyev was the one that forced the opportunity. Again, I believe he's going to be on the 4th line. But as I've said in the open here, for Nashville, it is a MASH unit. There's been some shutdowns and some injuries, no doubt about it. But again, if they can get some help and win these next 2 games, it's not do or die yet for the Preds, but it's got to be done tonight. So 19 minutes, we get an offensive zone draw here for Smashville as it's Philip Tomasino. He's going to go ahead and take this draw and try to get a piece of it. Was Tomasino as this will get sent back into the office of Jacob Markstrom now. Tomasino will collect near the right side of the red line. We'll play this one back as this will go to Cody Glass, former Vegas Golden Knights product. And It's sent back down the ice. This will be a long pass from the left side dot. It's Jussi Saros getting a chance to fill up Tomasino now. As this is played in off the backhand to Mackenzie Weegar. And Weegar now will do the same. He'll put this off the glass to Jonathan Huberdeau. He gets it across the flame and see to Mikael Backlund. He's on his backhand, trying to just send something through the left side of the faceoff dot. Mangiapane Backlund. Oh, that was a great pass. But Huberdeau, I guess, wasn't ready for it. Didn't have his eyes on it. If he would have just picked that up and let it go, I'm pretty sure the Flames would have had the lead because Jussi Saros was down and out. It was a great-looking pay from Mangiapane and Backlund. Backlund with the pass there to Jonathan Huberdeau and just missed the stick. That would have been a lead for the Flames, most likely. 18:08. As you're taking a look at the Nashville head coach, and immediately when I have to do that, I got to go look at my notes. It's John Hynes. He's the man in behind the bench right now for Nashville. As this gets flipped in, Stastny will give this one to Kelfoot, and now this will be Tanev to Backlund, picked up now by Noah Hanifin toward the right side of the red line. As this is recollected now, Backlund will get this to a nice pass to Tanev, wide open, and a couple chances. And the third one was brushed side. I think the first two were saved by Saros, as the Flames have been certainly on this game early. And now Saros will have to play this one. This one will be a little bit more calmly to the former Tampa Bay Lightning man and Cal Foot. He's the third line defense right now for John Hynes' squad. So Milan Lucic will get the long flip in as this goes off the wall. And Walker Dewar just getting absolutely destroyed. And behind the office is Lucic. We'll take a look at it. Rasmus Andersson now off the pinch. Picks up off the backhand. As is tried to be recollected by Lewis. And a long shot gets picked up now near the left side of the red line. The Nashville Predators are coming off a 2-0 loss to the Winnipeg Jets. As Rasmus Andersson will watch this one get picked up in his own end. I'm going to put Cooper Hopkins in here as I'll be able to get him for a little bit in this game before he has to leave. So Jankowski gets worked off the puck by Coleman, and this is flipped by Stetcher. Nazem Kadri will get this one across the red line now as Nashville will safely gain the red line. Markstrom has to play a bouncing puck that hits off the inboards. This bounces off the back of Ritchie, and now here's an opportunity for Trenin, and that one is fired wide. So that went off the back jersey of Ritchie, almost into the slot there was Trenin. As this gets picked up now by the Nashville decor, Dante Fabro. He's still one of the mainstays. He's just coming back from injury himself. As this is picked up, the Flames can't get it out. This is a wide open chance, and Markstrom makes a great save on Glass and keeps this leveled at nothing. As this is picked up now by the Flames, they'll bounce this one down the ice, and this is going to be waved off. Dante Fabro has it with 15:55 left to go in the first. I'm just joined by Cooper Hopkins, and we get a stoppage. We will get him in here. We're at the Settle Dome for the final two games of the regular season here for the Flames. Again, it's a win in regulation or go home for both teams at this point. That's what's at stake, as this is Tomasino now near the left side of the wall. Cody Glass will put this around the kick plate, as Nashville now starting to get some presence into the Calgary zone. They'll pick this up across the sea. And this is pinched in by Tyson Barrie, former Edmonton Oilers man. And now the right side wall, Tomasino again. He's been all over the ice. He's on the first line because of the myriad of injuries. As Dube will just fire it from a severe angle. This just works off the inboards. Picked up now by the Flames. And Backlund tries to get this again. He's working backhand. And that was another good pass by Backlund, but it just went wide. Here comes the bomb. And this is a save by Saros, but the puck is loose. And now Nashville will get a chance to pick it up with Cody Glass. He's by the bench. He'll go ahead and take his change, former Vegas man. There's Mackenzie Weegar now from Rasmus Andersson. Here's Weegar. He's in full flight. He gains the entry. Elects the wrist shot. This goes off the blocker of Saros and picked up now by Dante Fabro. Fabro now on the left side of the wall. He's just going to gain the red line as this is quickly played to Rasmus Andersson off the D-to-D. Here's a good stretch pass, and now a good one for the neutral zone. Jonathan Huberdeau. He's going to take the wrist shot, and Saros will swallow it up. And we get some pushing and shoving now with Huberdeau as he's trying to throw some fists into the face.
Well, John, we're not even 6 minutes into this first period, and it's an interesting one here. I think you can see what is at stake for both of these squads, and I want to thank you, my friend, as always, for setting things up on the Twitter Spaces side, and I'm very happy to be with you, even if it's for a brief period of time, far shorter than I thought it would be this evening, but life has a way of being crazy as we see citizens with that opportunity on Markstrom, and boy, that stayed out by a matter of an inch and a half or so, just enough to pad. Jacob Markstrom keeps his game tied at 0, and I like what I'm seeing from Mackenzie Weegar so far. He seems to be very motivated to keep his team with at least the faintest of heartbeats here as they fight for the playoffs.
Yes, that's Jankowski now. He's going to get a chance to take this defensive zone draw, and they will brush out Trevor Lewis, and we'll do this again. Milan Lucic is going to go ahead and take the draw against Jankowski. Flames are 5-1-1 in their last 7 games, and they're going to need to get more of those here, as this is picked up now near the left side of the red line. Lucic will take a look at it. Zadorov can't hold that line because here come the Preds. They'll just bounce this one cleverly off the wall, and this will be played. Markstrom's pass gets picked off, and they score!
I'm not even sure what to say here, John. I'm just not sure what to say. This is shades of a team that I thought was part of the Flames yesteryear, but apparently the ghost of Mike Smith has descended upon the Saddle Dome tonight, and he is not a benevolent ghost, my friend. He is haunting the Flames right now as he possessed Jacob Markstrom to play another bouncing puck around the corner. He absolutely whiffed on a clearing attempt, and that's the easiest goal you'll ever have in the National Hockey League. That is a wide open net. Markstrom vainly diving to get back. And if Fonaseyev makes it 1-0, John, it's that simple.
Yeah, that's a pass. We've seen Markstrom play the puck. We've done so many of these games, Cooper. That's a pass that he can't make there because there's no room. There's just no room.
No, none at all, and we're back underneath the action. I don't want to step on your toes, my friend, but that is such a tough way to start here as the Predators are now deep in the Flames zone. Yet again, there's a shot from a tight angle. Flames are going to try to carry this one out of their own zone. It's still Lucic on the ice, and now there's a turnover in the neutral zone. John, take it away. I can barely handle this.
Sissons now has it. Tomasino trying to do some work again. This is a patchwork lineup for Nashville, but they can't control their own destiny, but essentially they can play spoiler more so than the Flames can on that end. And they've done some with the Hanifin with the easiest goal that he could ever ask for right now as Nashville draws first blood, 13-20 in the first. Again, I have Cooper Hopkins with me temporarily, so when we do get a stoppage, we'll try to get as much of an extending talking point. So Hanifin, welcome to the league. Your first NHL goal. That's not what the Flames want to hear. Jankowski gets his 5th Apple of the Year. Nazem Kadri toward the left side down. This will be bounced off of the blocker of Saros and now put in the net and sent all the way back down. And Cooper, as we talked about it before, it was Connor Hellebuck, and now it's Jussi Saros. So it just doesn't get any easier. Even though you think you should beat Nashville, you got one of the best goaltenders in the world in your face. As this is picked up now, Coleman will send this one back down. But go ahead.
Yeah, John, I was just going to say, I know the Flames usually are playing from behind. I didn't realize how much they absolutely love playing from behind. Apparently, they need that mental state, that come from behind mindset, because they certainly are battling here. Now we have a hand in the air, John. This could be interesting. Do we have a high stick, and is it against Tyler Toffoli? My goodness, the Flames just up against it early here.
We will see once that gets updated there on that side. But if you're right, then they're really going to be up against it. And as we talked about, we'll figure out, admittedly, what's going to happen on the Wednesday side if you're free to cover anything or what's going on. I was trying to lock Monday and Tuesday as far as Nashville and Calgary. And then I think tomorrow it's going to be, if I have my wits about, maybe Minnesota and Winnipeg. They're playing off the back-to-back as well. But we knew this going into the broadcast. The Jets have taken 2 points. And these teams that are playing each other right now have to get 2 points.
Yeah, you said it right there. I think for the average viewer, so to speak, if the San Jose Sharks have been able to play spoiler up in Canada in Winnipeg, this game would be, not to say that it's not interesting, it would have been a little bit more dynamic as the Jets create just a tiny bit more breathing room for themselves. They don't by any means have a lock on their spot. But you're right. You said it a couple minutes ago. The Predators, even though they're still mathematically in it, basically are in get this game tied before they can even think about a W, the Flames would still be in there against Winnipeg, but of course they don't control their own destiny. So some of what we talked about a few nights ago when the Flames and Jets met up against one another, the Flames came away with a very exciting, almost monumental, it felt at the time, victory. But the Jets are taking care of their business, John, and the Flames, once again, in an absolute do-or-die situation, no question about it. It's 2 points in regulation. They'll take it in overtime as well, but you want to keep the Predators as far behind as possible. That's all there is to it.
170 minutes trailing in the last 5 games for Calgary. Wow.
I mean, what more can you say? This has been one of the most odd seasons it happens to be for a team that I've rooted for my entire existence, my friend. And I've just dragged you along for the ride as the Flames are now killing this penalty. There's Mikael Backlund. Boy, he's done everything. In a very weird season, he's been a bright light for these Flames. We'll see if he makes an impact tonight with about 20 seconds gone in the power play for Nashville.
Yeah, the light's going to have to burn bright now because they got to kill a Toffoli high sticking penalty. And Nashville already given a gift. They have a chance to essentially extinguish anything right now. So this is a nice play in the middle of the slot. Markstrom made the save, and thankfully for the Flames, nobody located the rebound. It would have been 2-0. As Tyson Barrie will make the pass across. Tomasino will send this one over Cody Glass. And now here's a pass in the high slot, and this goes off the left pad of Markstrom. Tanev just trying to get it out. He banks it off his own teammate, and this will be an opportunity here for Tyson Barrie. These entries and passes have been very poor for the Flames so far right now, and you can't afford that. The shots are 6-6. Here's a backhand as Tanev gets knocked down. This stays in here for Barrie. Picked up by the Predators as they'll play this off the back skate. Very patient on their power play. Cody Glass will send this back now here for Barrie. Barrie will play this D to D. 35 seconds left to go. Here's a pass, and Cody Glass feint on an open net near the right wing. This still stays with the Preds now. They look to be in complete control. Glass plays this in between his legs. Now on the high slot for Barrie as this goes back around the horn. This will be Barrie bomb. This gets tipped and goes off the right bar and sent down the ice. My goodness, as this will touch the goal stick of Jussi Saros. And I just can't believe what I'm watching right now. It is a penalty that is killed, but just barely. And this is sent down the ice for an ice.
Well, I can finally exhale, John, because the Nashville Predators essentially spent the entire power play in their offensive zone in front of or very near Jacob Markstrom. And Glass put a shot right on. He missed a wide open net. It should absolutely be at minimum 2-0 right now. I'm not sure how the Flames got so lucky there, but apparently Nashville got bitten by the Calgary bug. Calgary's hit more posts this season than they have any other season prior, and that one goes off the iron, so it's still 1-0 Nashville.
Well, Nazem Kadri now set to take an offensive zone draw. Colton Sissons win this one. Again, he's been one of the few Preds that have been long tenured. Remember him being here for several seasons now, as this will be played off of a big hit that was delivered, and this will be sent back down the ice here. Rasmus Andersson will touch this up. We've hit pretty close to the halfway point. Nashville's got a 1-0 lead. Essentially, they're in a good spot to play spoiler, but there's still tons of time left. And Calgary has got to get a goal in this period. I don't even think there's any way you want to go back and continue to trail and try to get it later. You got to get it right now. As this is picked up here for Nazem Kadri, and I think this is going to be a call against the Preds off a trip.
Yeah, I think so, John. In their offensive zone, this is going to be an easy call here. I think Trenin's going for 2, tripping Andrew Mangiapane, who was chasing down a puck at the near boards. And, looks like Trenin lost an edge and ended up inadvertently almost scissoring down Mangiapane right there. But either way, it's going to be the Flames' first power play. And to your point, my friend, as we get another TV timeout, here's a 2-minute segment of this contest where the Flames absolutely have to score.
Yes, they do. And again, I know we talked about as far as what we will figure out for the rest of the playoffs and all of the capsules and everything else will be next week. So I do realize, because Lauren told me I have to go to her sister's wedding, I think is June 10th. I think that's going to be the second game of the Stanley Cup Finals. So I will miss one game of the Cup Finals, but I won't miss any of our other closeouts or any of our games when we get to that coverage because that's exactly 3 months from now in the finals.
Man, oh man, it's hard to believe we're already thinking about the Stanley Cup final, but we're closer to it than we are farther away.
Yeah.
You know, it's bearing down on us, and it's going to be really an exciting race. I know we've talked so much about what's been happening in the East, and I think almost any team could come out of it there, but historic is too mild of a word to use when we're talking about the Boston Bruins. Of course, they'll be the favorite out of the East, and you know, there's a lot happening in the Pacific Division as well. I mean, my goodness, the Edmonton Oilers are white hot right now. The way that they score goals and amass points is so impressive to watch. I would say keep an eye out for them in the playoffs. But I know that you like those sneaky Los Angeles Kings as well to potentially take down those boys in blue and orange. So there's lots going on here. And then, of course, the game we have tonight, my friend, we've talked about it so many times. We've covered so many games for these Calgary Flames, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Selfishly, I've gotten to follow this very complicated and I think at times confusing season. And that play by Markstrom that allowed the first goal, John, that was confusing indeed.
Well, I can say this, there's nowhere I'd rather be than here with you to do all this stuff. And then when we do get into our playoff coverage, I'll be more than happy to have you help me with all of that stuff because I'm very much looking forward to that because that's pretty much when we started was last year in the playoffs. And now we actually get to say we covered a whole regular season. So that's pretty exciting. And here's a long shot that's swallowed up by Saros.
Yeah, I like that shot right there by the Flames. I know we've been talking about big picture things, playoff positioning, and we got a beautiful shot of the Bow River in Calgary, Alberta right there after Elias Lindholm, who had a banner year last year playing with Johnny Gaudreau and Matthew Tkachuk. Well, there's a smart shot from number 28 in red right there. Of course, he's playing with different players on his right and left, but the Flames are going to have to make the most of it. They have the puck right now with Tyler Toffoli in the near circle.
So Toffoli's shot just misses. This will go back to Rasmus now. Toffoli's still at that circle. And he's waiting now. He's staying patient off the backhand. He tried to almost play this one 5-hole, I believe, as this will be picked up now by Rasmus. So we'll send this across the D-to-D pass. Lindholm just keeps this in on the blue line as they drag it just off the sauce. Huberdeau, the pass eludes him as it's picked up down near the left side wall and recollected by the Preds. Preds will clear this all the way down as we've hit the 8:55 marker of the first. When we talked about the LA Kings in the previous part of the break, if they don't get a couple wins here, maybe the Seattle Kraken will get in that third spot and they can avoid playing the Colorado Avalanche potentially in the first round. And that might change some things, and we'll talk about that too. Because we're probably going to have to cover some Kraken games in the postseason. As this is Huberdeau now with Kadri. They're trying to get this near the left side wall. Fall to Hanifin. Hanifin makes the slight pass across. Mackenzie Weegar into the traffic, and this will go down near the left side wall here for Jonathan Huberdeau. Huberdeau now gets it back to Hanifin. It's Weegar one more time. Hanifin crisscross. Here's Huberdeau. Is he going to shoot it? Send this one right across, and Jussi Saros slides over, and then in an event, the Flames will throw this back down. Markstrom can make the easier play. He made the pass near the right side dot. Got to make sure that nobody's in front of him. He got bit one time, and that's what found Hanifin of his first NHL goal of his campaign. As this is picked up now, Tomasino will get it. This gets jumped out of the air by Hanifin, trying to get a piece of it. He's able to stay onside as Tomasino, but this will go to the Flames. Nazem Kadri will recollect here for Hanifin. Hanifin almost dodged one of his teammates, and Milan Lucic. And now Lucic toward the left side of the wall as this gets around Michael McCarron and then flipped by Nashville as is picked up by Yakov Trenin. He was the one that just got sent into the sin bin as this is picked up by Markstrom now. And here come the Flames right to left with big Nikita Zadorov. He'll gain the red line off a casual flip, and now they got to try to chase it. There's a chance for Lewis. Lewis has it now off the backhand. He tried to send one in front of Saros, and this gets recollected by Tomasino. And now Nashville. We'll take a look at it as Zadorov knocks off some of the body contact to deny Nashville a zone entry. Cody Glass now with Livingstone, the defenseman partner there for Nashville. As this is flipped up, Nikita Zadorov will play the back pass here from Stetcher to Lucic. And Lucic almost had his pocket pick, but good strength off the forehand. Able to get that one right back as this is just flipped out of the air. And here's a race for the puck. It's Tyler Toffoli. He'll send this off the inboards now. Calgary needs some reinforcements. Send it D-to-D. Tanev with the deflection. This goes off the right pad of Jussi Saros as Nashville can finish up a couple body contacts in their own end. And Tomasino, it seems like he's been all over the ice, been calling his name a lot. as this is flipped in now in the offensive end. Nashville will send this back around, but it'll go back to Chris Tanev. Tanev now. He's being hounded in his own end as this will go to the Flames, trying to make a move as Elias Lindholm. He's just going to have to peel back and take a change as Juuse Saros take his time now in behind the office. It's 9-8 on the shot board, 6:10 left to go in the first. It's a 1-0 lead for Nashville. We're at the Saddle Dome. They got one more game on Wednesday against the Sharks, and that's it for the regular season. These teams need to win in regulation, otherwise it's done. Long shot is in and saved by Markstrom.
Yeah, John, so we are left with 5:59 here in the first period. And it's interesting to see the play and potentially the extra motivation from Mark Jankowski, former Flame, spent 3 seasons with the team a while ago before bouncing around. I think he spent some time in Boston and now is with the Preds. But he was actually a pretty solid contributor for a while, played on the third line primarily. I really haven't thought much about him, but here he is. He's actually showing a little bit of jump in his game tonight, so keep an eye on Jankowski if the Predators want to extend their lead here. And we already mentioned Mikael Backlund, but I really, now this is, tell me if you've heard this story before, I really like what I've seen from Mackenzie Weegar so far. Not all of the Flames, John, I think you'll agree, look like they're fully mentally checked in here. I think I don't want to make a bold claim as if some are already out there, at least in their mind, on the golf course. But you know what? It's going to take more than a handful of these Flames if they want to push back against this Nashville team and get a victory here, don't you think?
Yes, it is, because I want to just bleed into your point here. Think about who's not on the ice for Nashville today. Matt Duchene, Roman Josi, Philip Forsberg, Jeremy Lauzon, Cole Smith, and then on the other end, who's been out as well for a while, Ryan Johansson. Those are some pretty good names, aren't they, Cooper, on that side? And they also sold at the deadline, did Nashville. They're going to get a lot of assets in return. You would think Nashville would be pretty good for next year as well. But, yeah, Calgary needs to put this into high gear.
Yeah, they certainly do, and I think you just listed 5 or 6 names. If you would have listed any 1 or 2 of those names, you would still, as a fan, member of the media, whomever, you would say, yeah, Calgary, this is a game you got to have, because guess who's not on the ice? John just went through the list. Although, as we come back to the broadcast, we're staring Juuse Saros in the face. John, games, shots faced, saves, slot saves, and inner slot saves. The NHL ranks for Juuse Saros in all those categories this season, number 1. So not to be trifled with. He is the real deal in net for the Preds.
In a NHL season now where you talk about still 82 games, the fact that he's playing number 63 tonight still speaks to the point of like Martin Brodeurs of the world, does it not? He plays all the games.
He plays them all, and he plays better than almost anyone in the league that you can put him up against. Here come the Flames with an opportunity. Speaking of Saros, that one goes wide. I try to avoid it. I'm stepping all over John here. I don't mean to cherry pick the exciting moments, my friend. That was the Flames' best chance of the period.
No, we got to do that because we only have you partially for this game. So if you want to take some of it or do whatever, just enjoy it here. And hopefully by the time this game is over, I'll be able to message you with a victory on that side, because that's what it's going to take. Mangiapane, that was a serious stick flex and barely off the blocker of Saros.
Yeah, if he would have elevated that about 2 more inches over the blocker side, I think this is a tie game. He flexed that stick and really pumped that back leg. Nice shot right there from number 88 in red.
So an opportunity now for the Flames off of an offensive zone draw. It's Blake Coleman. Coleman now sends this back on the other side for Kadri near the left side of the red line. They'll take this back D-to-D. Mackenzie Weegar with a nice pivot, trying to keep this alive off his backhand. Weegar still with it now as he was being hounded near the blue line. This is still at the left side of the red line, where the Predators try to get this one left to right. It's Weegar off the steal. This goes off the back skate of one of the D-men of the Preds. And this is Yakov Trenin stuck in his own end. Nazem Kadri's been out there for a while. The Flames are 1-3-3 in their last 7 games against the Preds, so I guess they don't like this matchup, but it's odd considering who's on the ice.
Yeah, there's a quick shot right on right there that, frankly, I didn't even see. It was just flipped toward the net. Jacob Markstrom snares it with the trapper. So we'll get a stoppage here. And I believe a face-off to Markstrom's left. But, John, dare I say the heartbeat is a little louder for the Flames here in the past several minutes or so? They seem to have had some better shifts here late in the first.
Yes, they have. I mean, we always talk about starting on time. If you can't start on time for this game, quite frankly, you don't deserve to get in the postseason if you're either one of these teams. I'll just say it plain as day.
Yeah, no question about it. And Lewis goes a little early on the draw attempt right there. So the youngster Walker Dewar, who I was just about to mention, is someone to keep an eye on. He has been highly motivated and really trying to cement his spot in this lineup in not just the rest of this season, which of course only is one more game plus a couple periods, but going forward into future seasons. There's Dewar with a nice faceoff win. Now the Flames trying to pressure in the offensive zone.
So Lucic was the one that delivered the hit, and then Tomasino with an outstretched pass. This goes into a player's bench off the zebra. 4:28, we get a stoppage. Shots are 10-10 aside, but Nashville's got the 1-0 lead so far at the 7th.
Yeah, and John, we've watched so much Calgary hockey this season. I'm just keeping an eye on really who's getting ice time here. And, I'm noting that Kadri's still getting some ice time here. Huberdeau, not as much potentially, and I'm going to keep an eye on those numbers as we get to the break. But Lucic has actually been out there quite a bit. So if this is to be his swan song, this game, and then, of course, the finale against the Sharks, he's at least getting a lot of ice time to make something of that opportunity while he's out there.
Yeah, a few minutes ago when you were speaking about the golf course, I think it's apropos to see a lot of the fourth liners out there right now getting the majority of the time for Darryl Sutter's squad, because you got to go with who has the biggest heartbeat right now. There is no time like the present as this is flipped on ice.
Yeah, Flames looking for a stretch pass through the center of the neutral zone right there. Just a lot too much mustard on it. Darryl Sutter gets a close-up here from the Sportsnet side. Just a grimace on his face. I think he was looking for a better breakout right there, and I'm pretty sure every single fan wearing red in the Saddle Dome feels the same way. Flames are chasing it here with 4:14 on the clock. Shots are even, but the Flames are down 1-0.
So a defensive zone draw again. This is going to be the third consecutive faceoff taken there for Lewis. And off the tie-up, this is a long shot. Rebound in front. Markstrom down as this is played behind the right side of the red line. Enough body contact provided by Nikita Zadorov to slow it down, but Flames are going to take a penalty.
His stick, John. His stick is outside the net right now. Looks like it's out of his hand to his right.
Yeah, and Markstrom didn't have a stick, and the Flames touched up. The fortunate thing for the Flames is Markstrom could pick a stick up, but Zadorov's going in the box.
Oof, what a mess. And again, I did not mean to keep stepping on your toes, pal. That's not my intent. Just thought it was noteworthy that Markstrom had his stick so close to him, but I don't think he was able to spot it, and it was just there on the right side of the crease. And then Zadorov does a little too much. I think, is he going to go for interference here in the near corner? Either way, he was all over. It looks like that's Tomasino. Yeah, it's going to be Zadorov, 2 minutes. So here comes Nashville late in the period with another man advantage.
Calgary's dancing with danger right now. They already gave Nashville one power play, and now we'll see what they can do with their second, because their first one, Cooper, in all honesty, was pretty good.
Yeah, agreed. And the Predators right now have it in their own end, and they're going to try to break this thing out into the neutral zone. And they look to turn it back right here with 3:30 and 20 seconds gone in this first period and the power play.
So Evan Guestia will send this across here for Tyson Barrie, and I hope I'm getting that name right. That's a tongue twister. As this is put back in off the boards, this will bounce near Markstrom. And now Backlund, he's fighting through some severe contact. There was 3 Preds in his face. He wasn't able to get the pass off. Now it's turned over in the slot, and the backhand goes up off the glass. This stays with the Preds now. Geez, on their power play, they look like a completely different team as this is picked up by Backlund, and he'll flip it out. Again, he's the one always doing the yeoman's work. So Tyson Barrie will go ahead and take his change, and Nashville will get a new unit there for John Hynes' squad. And they will try to go left to right. So they get this across the flaming sea, clear this in. Markstrom will hold it off the carom.
Yeah, John, you know what? I think often when we're broadcasting games, we're able to speak, I would like to think, relatively intelligently, using proper terminology and solid descriptions of what we're seeing on the ice. But my goodness, I have no words other than the Flames look like a mess right now. This penalty kill has been one to forget. I think I'll just put it politely.
Yeah, if we can use the terms fighting it, it would certainly be that situation right now. And it just doesn't make much sense to me, considering you're at home, you had the rest. Nashville played a tough game against the Jets. Saros has been really overworked. It's a mash unit. I mean, there's no other excuses you can make. The Flames got to be able to take control of one of these games. And even the Sharks game on Wednesday might not be an easy one to take the way it's always been going, especially with Erik Karlsson, players like Tomas Hertl. So it's always up in the air. 18 seconds here to go on Nashville's power play. They gain the entry near the right side wall. That goes off the top of the bar. And this is picked up now as Nashville has this again near the left side dot. They've hit a couple posts already on a pair of power plays. They have taken the shot board lead 13-10 as Saros leaves it to the D and set this one back up in behind the office. As Ryan McDonagh, former Tampa Bay Lightning man, he sends this one down, and I can't help but think about that Stanley Cup playoff hit against Darren Helm. It was that long ago, and that was not a good one. As this is picked up off of a couple of stick blades, Jonathan Huberdeau trying to find it. Here's a back pass, and this sets up Huberdeau from Kadri. Now picked up by Richard near the right side wall. This goes off the right pad casually as Saros, right to the Preds. And they have the lead with a minute 15 as they pick it up now near the players' bench. Rasmus Andersson will send this one back down across the red line. And we're still live with a minute 5 in the first. Joining with me alongside Cooper Hopkins as he's going to be holding on a little bit longer here for this first, and then we will figure out what we're going to do for the rest of the week. I'll be here till Thursday. After that, I am all booked up, and then we will go into the playoff side of it. Win, lose, or draw, Cooper and I will bring you some of that action, and it's going to be a lot of fun as this is picked up now. Tomasino trying to get some work done here with Livingstone as this picked up now by Cody Glass. Tries to give and go with Tomasino. Hanifin now handled against the right side wall where Chris Tanev will pick it up. Tanev, he's going to make this easy pass back to the defense now here for Hanifin. The stretch gets canceled off by Nashville as they'll pick it up across the right side wall, and this will fall back to Rasmus. Down to 20 seconds left to go in the first. It's a 1-0 lead for Nashville. It's a 13-11 lead on the shot board as well as Rasmus continuing to bleed time off. And now he's going to take a slap shot from 100 feet. This does get sneaks through. Mangiapane is going to gain the entry off of a give and go, and maybe that brushed off Saros, maybe not, but this will end the first period.
Wow, John. So definitely a design play there to conclude the first is Rasmus Andersson holding the trapezoid behind Markstrom, and then goes with the rarely seen slap pass breakout shot attempt that did rattle around the boards and bounce to Mangiapane. He's able to gain the zone. The Flames look for a centering opportunity that really was right there for Coleman. There's a little bit of traffic, and Saros made himself big. And I'd like to see a replay of that at some point. I think Coleman just maybe whiffed on that. It might have been a bouncing puck there at the end. Either way, it's still 1-0. And based on the highlight package that we just saw, boy, oh boy, it was all Nashville in the first, John. It could easily, based on them hitting a post and then later the crossbar, could easily be 3-zip Preds right now. Unbelievable.
Yes, it is. And what we have here right now, we're just going to go ahead quickly across the scoreboard here. So the Jets, we know that one is final. They won this one 6-2. There were no goals in the second period, but it was all Jets in the first. They led 3-1, and they finished it off 6-2. It was Marcin Scheifele with the final goals. So when we look at the NHL wildcard standings, again, I just updated those. The Jets have 93 points. The Flames have 90. The Preds have 88. So the Jets, they want to get some distance. Again, as we said, the Flames and the Preds must win in regulation to be able to keep pace. Otherwise, it's going to be over.
Yeah, and how many times over the past couple of months, John? I mean, it's been weeks and weeks and weeks that we felt like it was over for the Flames. We've seen just wild losses to the Flames with leads that they have given up, watched their chances dwindle away, watched them drop in the standings, and they've kept us coming back until here, at this very moment, here we are with just these two periods, and then the final game against the Sharks for Calgary in this regular season. I mean, there's really no narrative that we haven't covered, my friend. We've seen so much of these guys. It's been so back and forth, so black and white with the Flames. They make you believe one moment, then they break your heart the next. This first period certainly was a heartbreaker, especially with that fumble from Markstrom behind the net, resulting in a wide open first goal and again, help me. This is I feel like every game we cover. Give me the pronunciation of our goal scorer for the Predators.
So I'm going to go with this, Igor Athanaseyev.
I think you nailed it. Okay, that's put that in etch it in stone. John, you just nailed the pronunciation. So Igor Afanaseyev with his first. And so not only is it a bad goal for the Flames, but they give up a goal to someone who never scored before. It just continues for this Calgary team. And I don't know, my friend, I don't want to be defeatist, but it just doesn't seem like everyone out on the ice wearing red is fully locked in and committed to pushing this team into the playoffs. Maybe I'm crazy, but tell me what you think.
You're not crazy, especially from what we saw in the first period. How about not taking penalties? How about not shooting yourselves in the foot? Well, that happened the whole way through. And I'm not going to discredit these guys by calling the Preds a bunch of no-name guys, but essentially they're in the back end of their roster, and they controlled the Flames pretty well, all things considered.
Yeah, and you know what else I noticed there at the end of the period? And I don't blame anyone if they didn't notice it, because why would you when everyone in the Saddle Dome is quietly seated and almost watching as if they were at some evening theater, perhaps. The Flames fans are known for being rowdy and very passionate. I count myself amongst that group. And, this is part of what's so disappointing, too, is at this time of the season when, you still have a chance and you'd think that the product on the ice would be getting fans to jump out of their seats. It's been quite the opposite. The sea of red just taken out of it. So we'll see if the Flames can put something out on the ice in periods 2 and 3, which I unfortunately will not be able to stick around for, but I'll try to keep my eye on things as best as possible. But yeah, John, if the fans are into it, something's going right, and they certainly have not been into it this evening.
No, we don't blame the fans for their reaction right now because it's warranted for what Nashville's doing. As far as Cooper and I, we will communicate throughout the week. I don't think we're going to be done. We're going to have at least one more to cover before I'll be done with the weekend and then go into the next part of the playoffs. Because Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, between obligations and the Sharks on my end, I just can't do anything. So it'll be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Cooper and I will probably connect one more time this week, and then we'll figure it out after. Just a couple other finals to keep note of here. Looking at some of the stuff in the West, I want to take a look at the East really quick. So the Caps, they get a 5-2 win over the Islanders. The Islanders needed points to keep pace in this East wild card. They don't get anything. And the Maple Leafs, they take out the Panthers, although the Panthers get 1 point on that side in the East. So let me give you the updated standings on that end. So between the Panthers and the Islanders don't pick up anything. They got 91 points with 1 game left, and the Panthers have 92 points with 1 game left. That is good news for the Pittsburgh Penguins, who are inactive tonight. They can take the second spot against the Islanders with a win tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, that is quite a race as well. And how strange would it be? I mean, I'm just going to put it in, since we're talking about fans, the Penguins are such a staple. They are just a linchpin, a cornerstone of the playoffs in the East. It would be so odd to see them sitting at home, especially knowing that we are nearing the end of really an elite era. Some of the best players, not only in Penguins history but in NHL history, playing together, and they came back for one more run here. John, do you think that they will find a way?
I think that they can. I think the Islanders shot themselves in the foot big time today. I think the Penguins will win their last couple games because they know they have to. And when you have Crosby, Malkin, and Letang, they won't mess it up.
Yep, that's what I was trying to tee it up for you there, and you just drove it right down the fairway, buddy. So, and the reason, of course, I'm using a golf analogy right before I make my early exit tonight is that the Flames have to pick up their game, or else they can get the golf clubs out of storage, dust them off, and buy some new Titleists, because they're down 1-0 to the Predators right now after a pretty dreary first period. I certainly hope that periods 2 and 3, John, are a little more evenly balanced, just so you have some exciting calls to make. And I'll be looking forward to hearing the rest of your coverage. Again, as a fan, that's kind of the theme of our break here. There's a little bit left of this intermission, and I'm so apologetic, my friend. I wish I could stick around. But this is one of those random things, and I will be in touch with you, of course, very soon, as you alluded to a few moments ago. I should be available on Wednesday. Hopefully we have something very, very exciting. Basically, that would be the true do-or-die situation.
Yeah.
So let's keep our fingers crossed for that, buddy.
Yeah, so if we get to that situation, we will definitely do that. If not, we will find something on Wednesday. I'll be available for that within the first 4 days. The one thing to keep a note of right now is if Seattle gets this win against Arizona, they will tie the LA Kings with point number 100 in the standings. And if the LA Kings continue to drop a couple games, they'll go into wildcard spot number one, and Seattle can essentially avoid playing Colorado in the first round, and I think that could change some things as far as predictions.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And whether or not that happens, the shuffling in the standings, I do just want to say, and bias aside, what a special season for the Seattle Kraken. Not only are they going to make the playoffs guaranteed for the first time in their history, but they look very likely to hit or potentially pass that 100-point mark as a team. And listen, it's an era in the NHL where that's still no guarantee by any stretch, and so they should be very proud of what they've done. And I know that they are gunning for exactly what you were just talking about. They love to put themselves in the best position possible to potentially make a run out of the West.
Yeah, and there's a couple more notes quickly of the injury relation. That Kel McCarr, he's going to wrap up his regular season, but I don't think it's going to take away any of his playoff time. He just got shut down in advance for Colorado, so we will see it, as Cooper said before. If they need to ratchet it up or ratchet it down, well, the Dallas Stars ratcheted up against the Red Wings, took them out 6-1. So they tie with 104 points in the Central. So the number one seed's not done yet. And as far as the Minnesota Wild, they're probably not going to get anywhere past the third seed as they're losing to the Blackhawks 2-1. The one other thing that we want to mention, maybe a little bit of, I'll say questionable stuff, because it kind of happened last year with Nikita Kucherov and the Lightning. Well, now they say the Vegas Golden Knights, they used their LTIR money. They got Jonathan Quick. They got some of the other stuff figured out. Now they pick up their captain, Mark Stone. Said he's going to be ready to go for game one of the playoffs for the Golden Knights.
Yeah, that is something that, John, especially as we get into playoff coverage, inevitably we're going to be covering some Golden Knights games. Yeah, that's a storyline. That is something that you and I will have to touch on at some point. I'm glad you brought it up. Let's not forget to get our opinions on that matter when the time is right. But that does certainly change things for Vegas. Interesting strategies at work there potentially. Maybe just conjecture, but we will see. And you and I will share our thoughts. But listen, thank you for allowing me to jump in here I think we got most of the first period together and most of the intermission. It's always been fantastic to cover these games with you, and it hurts my heart, my friend, to have to step away. But as we get the nice aerial drone shot of the Saddle Dome and the Calgary Tower in the background, it's time to wrap up this intermission, and I will leave it in your very skilled hands, my friend. Have a great broadcast the rest of the way, and I will keep my eye on things because this game is so important for these two teams, especially the home squad. So fingers crossed for the Flames, and I'll leave it to you, my friend.
All right, thanks. Let me know for Wednesday and Thursday because I'll keep it open.
You got it. I'll send you a message later this evening or in the morning, and we'll go from there. But I think we'll be a green light on that one.
All right, sounds good. See you.
All right, talk to you soon.
So Cooper Hopkins was able to join me a little bit through this first period as we took a little bit of the Flames part of it. I will close it out between the second and the third. So as it stands right now, it's a 1-0 lead for the Preds over the Flames. And again, we will probably be back on the Wednesday side. And admittedly, we will see if this game ends up as a Preds victory. Well, then that kind of takes it away from the Flames, and then we'll have to kind of jump our playoff coverage. That's all intents and purposes of whether or not he wants to close out the season, because we will be working some playoff games. I'm going to be giving you the playoff capsules of the first round, and then when we do get into the Stanley Cup Finals, I think I will be able to do every game except Game 2. I think Game 2 might fall on a June 10th, which is exactly 3 months from now. But everything else in the Stanley Cup Finals side will be Cooper Hopkins and myself, 1A, 1B. There really isn't a designation on that side. We'd both like to flip on that, and we'll figure that out when it gets to it. So I'm going to give you a couple other scores here that we did not get a chance to get to. I'll just give you the finals again. 6-2 Jets over the Sharks, 5-2 Caps over the Islanders. That was big for the Penguins because the Islanders don't pick up any points and they still have a game in hand, and the Panthers get just one. So to reset that again, that will leave you with the Pittsburgh Penguins inactive tonight, 90 points. The Islanders don't get anything. They're at 91 with 81 games. They got 1 game left. Same thing for the Panthers. They have 92. So the Penguins can essentially jump the Islanders with a win in regulation. I think that they can get that done. The Islanders dropped the ball tonight. But again, you got to win those games. Just because you have them in hand doesn't mean anything. Those are just thoughts. Stars all over the Red Wings. That's particularly important because it puts the Stars at 104 points, tied with the Avalanche. That still keeps the number 1 seed in the Central wide open with a 6-1 victory. In progress scores, 9:03 in the second. It's the Blackhawks 2-1 over the Wild. In our game, it's 1-0 Preds. And the Coyotes have a surprising lead over the Kraken at Mullen Arena. Again, the Kraken still have something to play for in the sense of, yes, it's locked up in WC1 at worst, but they can catch or at least tie the Los Angeles Kings tonight. If the Kings lose, they're in action against the Canucks. So if the Kings lose, don't pick up anything. The Kraken can tie. And that would essentially, if they get into the 3rd seed, avoid them playing potentially the Colorado Avalanche in the 1st round. I think that's what they're going to want to gun for. The only other game, as we said, left to get underway, that's at 10:30 Eastern, probably about 15 minutes from now from Puck Drop, will be the Kings at Crypto.com Arena against the Canucks. So that is a quick reset. I know the players are going to be getting warm and all that stuff. When I come back, we will get into the second period. Stick around. So what do you guys think of? I know I've seen some of you bounce in and out between the YouTube side and the Twitter Spaces side. Let me know what you think of the wild card races. If you have any thoughts, opinions of who's going to play who in the 1st round, who do you like in the postseason? Have you been enjoying everything else that's been going on so far? I think it's been pretty good. I mean, this is essentially, as we said, into the open. It's a do or die. If the Preds don't win this game in regulation, they're done. If the Flames don't win this game in regulation, they're done. There can be no 1 point for either one of these teams. It's win or go home. And the reason that's been the case is because of the Jets' win against the Sharks today. So I'm going to go ahead on the ESPN side, and I will duplicate a couple of these windows to give you a couple other scores around the league as far as some other sports. I don't believe the NBA play-in, that is not tonight, so there are no NBA games, but on Tuesday, it will be the Hawks and the Heat in the East for 7th and 8th place, and then the Timberwolves and the Lakers. The one thing important on the Timberwolves side is he just tried to get into a fight with his teammate, Slow-Mo. Rudy Gobert tried to beat up Kyle Anderson. They were throwing a punch and exchanging some words because Kyle Anderson didn't like Gobert's effort. Even though he was playing injured, he wasn't playing well, or whatever excuse he wants to make. I don't think the Timberwolves are going to love that trade in the end. I guess they can say they understand why they did it. As far as everyone else outside of Minnesota, maybe some fans in Minnesota don't understand the trade. I don't either. When you trade like 5 firsts to get Rudy Gobert, who you know can only block shots at the net and score within 4 feet, either dunk or putback, that's kind of a waste. So with no Gobert, Timberwolves, Lakers, I give the Lakers a shot to beat Minnesota. I understand Anthony Edwards is the man, and he's really good, but he's the guy. And I think the Lakers might have enough firepower to get that done. Again, if it was a month and a half ago, maybe we were wondering if the Lakers even get in the postseason. And now they're in the play-in spot. I think they can get past the Timberwolves. That's just my honest opinion. We'll flip this across now for MLB. And we'll give you some of these scores as well as we're in the middle of the intermission. So I'll give you the finals first. So the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley, they take out the Mariners in the 10th inning. It's a back-to-back extra innings loss for Seattle. They lost to the Guardians the other day. Now they lose to the Cubs 3-2. The Braves, they beat the Reds 5-4. The Mets blank the Padres. Padres absolutely opened up a can against Atlanta yesterday. I think Nelson Cruz, the boomstick, had 6 RBI. Mets win 5-0. Phillies all over the Marlins, 15-3, a 15-run, 20-hit attack, dispose of the Marlins at, I believe, Citizens Bank Park. That's Philadelphia. You can correct me if I'm wrong. The Rays, they win again. They shut out the Boston Red Sox. They are 10-0 on the year. I know we talk about it, and I'll mention this now. They opened the season with the Tigers. They played against the Washington Nationals and the Oakland Athletics. They were 9-0. Yes, they had a soft serve start, but you have to win the games in front of you, and they've won their games right now. They're 7-0 at home. The majority of their schedule has been in Tropicana. They've played easy teams, but they've won the games. And that's a good shutout against the Red Sox, because the Red Sox, maybe we don't know how good they're going to be, but we know they can score a lot of runs, and they got exposed of the shutout today. So Brandon Lau hit the home run as the Rays go 10-0. It's the Astros get an 8-2 win over the Pirates. They're trying to get back to 500. They're 5-6. The Baltimore Orioles, they take out the Athletics at Camden Yards 5-1. It's the Guardians with a win again. They beat the Yankees. They're 7-4 on the year. Guardians look pretty good. Twins, they lose to the White Sox in the AL Central battle. They lose 4-3. It is the Dodgers. These are all in progress now. Dodgers 4-0 against the Giants. Diamondbacks 1-0 against the Brewers 3-1 Angels over the Nats. 7-3 Rockies over the Cards. And it's all Rangers against the Royals. It's 11-2. We're going to get into the play-by-play now. Into our featured game. It's 1-0 Preds. They have the lead over the Flames. So it's time for puck drop in the second period, and it's the Nashville Predators with Ryan McDonagh. Mangiapane gets us across the Flaming Sea. Flames got to go left to right. Try to get a shot immediately on Saros. This goes off the left side of the wall. Again, the Nashville Predators, they get the turnover in the defensive zone, and Pasanen will send this in deep. I didn't think he was going to play Juuso Pasanen, but I see his jersey out there now. He must have just been activated for today. As this is picked up by the Predators, and they will send this back McDonagh one more time across the defensive side for Dante Fabro. And this is chipped in now for the help of Sissons. So he'll have to try to go after that with Yakov Trenin, and they try to get around Christopher Tanev. And now the Preds will intercept in the high slot. They'll play this off the back pass. Philip Tomasino will just throw a stick at it. And now here come the Flames off the 2-on-2. Edger Mangiapane off the drop. Here's Huberdeau. And this is sort of the catching glove of Saros. And again, Huberdeau, a lot of pushing and shoving today. And that one is against Tyson Barrie. Seems to be a little bit more attentive for the physicality than usually attentive as far as some of the missed passes and things like that. We're noticing that from him tonight. So Jonathan Huberdeau just threw the traffic off the pass from Mangiapane, and that is in the webbing and the catching glove for Juuse Saros. Again, if we give you a scoring reset, there isn't much to talk about, but it's Igor Afanaseyev with his first NHL goal. Mark Jankowski got the assist, as Cooper said, the former Flame at 5:49 of the first. It's really been all Preds. They had a couple power plays. They've had the majority of this action. They've also hit a couple posts. And in a game that both teams really need to have, Nashville seems to be the team that is very attentive as far as having the front skate on this game. As this is picked up, this bounces off of Nick Ritchie. And this is a sauce pass across the Flaming Sea. This will be an opportunity for Cody Glass, the former Vegas Golden Knight, into the traffic off the left side of the wall. And sent back down now. Coleman off the one-on-one. Here's the toe drag. He gets the rebound. And Saros cancels that one off too. That was a nifty-looking move from the former Tampa Bay Lightning man. But Saros makes a pair of pretty damn good saves. As this is sent back now. Coleman with a career high in points, 38 this season. His previous was 36. But you need more of those points against some of the other teams other than Nashville. You got to be able to bring that against other teams and throughout the year. As this is picked up now, but this is a winner-go-home game essentially. This is game number 81 here for the Flames. As this is sent back across in the high slot, it's Stetcher into the traffic. And this bounces up out of play, and we will get a stoppage with 17:46. The shots are now even at 14 aside. So I'm looking at the Coleman replay minutely. This is a Sportsnet feed on ESPN Plus. And he got around Stasny on that end, and that was a good stick lift. That was the windmill move, as he got that around him. And the second opportunity One was bounced off the right pad, one was bounced off the left pad. So good job there by Coleman. As Tyler Toffoli will send this one back to Tannen, but we get a whistle here with a minute 85. Minute 85. 185 goals against, 945 save percentage against the Flames, as you say, Saros. 1743. It looks like the Flames are going to the box. That's what the whistle was called. This is Dillon Dube with a high stick against Igor Fanaseyev, the one that scored the goal. And that was just outside my look on the high stick. It's 2:17 marker of the second. 17:43 officially in the first. John here with it. We're going to set to close this out again. Thank you to Cooper Hopkins running me a little bit in this first. We will be in control for Wednesday and Thursday as far as what we're going to figure out what we're going to cover. Tommy Novak, send this one back down here for Tyson Barrie. Now Barrie off the backhand as this is picked up by Nashville. Tomasino takes his time in behind the office of UC Saros, and now Trenin will look to start things right to left against the white shirts with the yellow emblazoned around the jersey as this goes up in the netting. 1:33. It's a face-off into the neutral zone here. Nashville has the 1-0 lead. It's 15-14 on the shot board with 17-15 left to go in this middle stanza. 11 points, 8 assists in 21 games since the trade from Edmonton to Nashville is Tyson Barrie. So here is a way back draw, just in case there's any kind of negates for breakaways, and this will get picked up by the Flames, and this will be played by UC Saros. It's Tyson Barrie now. Send this back around the end boards here for the Preds, and now played back from Fabro to Barrie. As Barrie will get this back to the forwards, and Nashville will look to get this for a John Hynes squad. Here's Tommy Novak. He leaves it here for Tomasino near the left side boards, and here's Barrie. And now Novak here from Tomasino. He'll get it back. Novak trying to do some work as he punches this one to Cody Glass, and now Tyson Barrie. Tyson Barrie can't hold that blue line as this is sent back down. Again, Barrie very familiar with the Calgary Flames since playing with the Oilers for a long time, and a shot from Glass gets sent back toward the right side of the blue line. Picked up now as this is Trenin. Plays this off the window. Now under the left side boards. Great move by Glass, and this gets blocked inadvertently by one of the Predators. They were trying to set the screen out in front of Jacob Markstrom. And now 16:05. There's its Nashville. Picks it up. They'll let this one go. Let it fly near the right side of the red line, and this will send back here. Novak. He's patient. Drops it here from Evangelista to Barrie. Barrie now sends us across. Tomasino. That one's short side, and this is up the left side of the red line. Philip Tomasino will watch this go back to the D. Here from Tyson Barrie. Tomasino will fire one near the right side wall. As this is picked up now by the Preds again. Every time they're on the power play, they just kind of slowed this down. They've got the shots that they want. They made the Flames have to move their feet. As this is now near the left side of the red line. Dillon Dube lost it as it's picked up by Glass. This goes off the left pad of Jacob Markstrom. And the Flames are just doing their struggle street right now. Mackenzie Weegar can't clear it out of his zone. Here's McDonagh. It's some tired Flames. Nashville fresh off the change. Rasmus Andersson punched in. Coleman was out there for about 2:05. Andersson for 2:13. And guess what? They're going to have to stay out there because Calgary just likes the puck. So, again, if you talk about it with Cooper Hopkins when he was in here with me just for a little bit, he was just saying it looks like a little bit of a mess. He tries to be articulate as far as the words you want to throw out there, but I couldn't agree with him more. It's been a little bit of a mess there for the Flames. And this is not the time for that because, again, either one of these teams, they don't win a regulation. It's season over, lights out. There really isn't any other story to say now that the Jets have taken that 6-2 win over the Sharks. There's this icing call picked up off the backhand. Markstrom down, makes the save. Trying to stick forward is Nashville, but Markstrom finds it and holds on with 15 minutes in the second. So 37, 27, and 16 are the Flames. When you give me that reset as far as the wild card standings, they have 90 points. The Winnipeg Jets have the big 2 points. With the win over the Sharks today, have 93. They need to keep pace, and with Nashville having 88 with 40, 31, and 8, if they don't get this win in regulation either, I mean, they're essentially done. So it's two teams that know what they have to do. They must play this like a Game 7 win or go home. Nothing less and nothing more than that. Markstrom's 19th start out of 20. And the same thing for Yusei Saros. I think 22 out of 24 on that, and he's playing game number 63 of an 82-game campaign. So Yusei Saros, as we talked about in the previous graphic from the first period, is first in all goaltending categories in that side in the Pacific Division. As this is picked up now, Saros with the long stretch pass. This one goes away from Mangiapane, and now Yakov Trenin try to get this one down across the neutral zone. As this gets recollected, Parsonen gets kicked off the puck there by Hanifin near the left side of the red line. Tanev, and is another penalty called against the Flames. Colton Sissons gets taken down. Jonathan Huberdeau going to the box for the third time are the Flames. And indeed, this is a mess of epic proportions. Is Jonathan Huberdeau. Let me take a look at it. Yes, no reason to. A trip and a cross check against Colton Sissons. Never had the puck. 5:33 on a tripping mark. 14:27 left to go in the period. And Calgary must defend again. 0 for 3 on the power play is Nashville. They keep getting opportunities. How many times until they score? They've already hit a couple posts. All three of their power plays are looking pretty good. So Novak fakes this off the rebound, off the carom, and he'll get this from Tyson Barrie. Tyson Barrie likes to be the quarterback. He's got it in the high slot, plays it toward the right side dot. Tomasino will get this one back to Evangelista. Now to the right side wall. Evangelista makes the pass. Here's Novak from Barrie. Barrie will pick it back up. Barrie fire into the traffic. This goes off the left side into the netting. And we get a stoppage. 1:30 left to go on Nashville's fourth power play of the contest. It's still 1-0 Predators. And the Flames have just been dancing away from danger this entire contest. They've not been able to stay on this front foot. You talk about 60 minutes of regulation. The first 30 minutes have been complete control here for the Preds. There really isn't any other way to say it. We're getting close to that first 30 minutes as Reds 13:45 in the middle frame. 19-14 shot advantage here for Nashville. They got the 1-0 lead as Evangelista got checked. And this is picked up now for the Preds. Novak sends us across. Tomasino now on the high slot trying to be collected by Cody Glass. As Coleman tries to play this off the window. This will be picked up here by Glass. Tomasino now. He sends the sauce. Near the right side dot, here's another one. Tomasino had to turn around. He couldn't collect it clean. Tyson Barrie will settle it down in the high slot now near the left circle. Barry's got it now. Sends it back across here for Novak. Novak now rides that right side wall. Drops it here for Barrie. Barrie still looking for a shot. Nashville very patient. As they've been on this power play, fan on the 1T is Tomasino. And this will allow the Flames to send this all the way back down to Yusei Saros. Yusei Saros might need a pillow back there. It's not faced a lot of action here in this second period. And that doesn't sound too good for the Flames and their chances. As this is Nashville now, gaining it across the red line. Markstrom almost misplays it again. And that was one of those goals that ended up happening. And that's how Nashville got on the board first. But this will fall back to Saros. They move the goal stick now here for Barrie. And 4 seconds left to go. By the time they get in the offensive zone, the Flames will kill the penalty. It's picked up here by Dube. Flames back to even strength. Dube now holding off the backhand as this goes in between a couple skate blades. Here's Troy Stecher scores! Screen out in front, and the Flames tie the game. 12-19 left to go in the second. They get one past Saros. It doesn't matter about the overtime point at this point. Flames have got to get 2. Nashville's got to get 2. They'll take it however they can get it. They've made their first step back. Dillon Dube with his pass gets deflected, set back up here for Stecher. Near the left circles, winds and fires with a screen out in front. And Stecher absolutely pumped, punches the glass as well. Huberdeau easily aided that screen. He didn't make contact there with Saros. We got a clean goal. It's 1-1. Flames tie it up. 19-16 on that shot board. 12-19 left to go, and we have a new game. I appreciate you guys following in. Joe Rogan says going to be interesting. Ryan Friesen says it doesn't matter that the Flames scored. Preds still going to beat them. So Friesen, definitely a Preds fan. Well, for the Preds on that side, Friesen, you're going to need a lot of help, even more so than the Flames. But the Preds have certainly dominated throughout the first point of it now. But we will see what happens. The Preds have sold at the deadline, and now with Barry Trotz on that side, you're just a Jets fan. Okay. So if you're the Jets fan, this is a little bit of a troll job here for you. You got to be able to enjoy this. If the big win off the Sharks, I don't blame you. So I totally understand that one. So now toward the right side of the wall, as this is sent back down, Flames try to get this out of their own end, and now here come the Preds off of a rush, and it's sent back down here for Livingstone. Livingstone plays this off the embankment as it's Tanev, picks it up across the flaming sea. Tanev now here for Lindholm. Dube trying to find it in between escape blades, and it's sent down for Mark Jankowski. As Go Flames Go chance starting to be alive at the Saddle Dome. They've had a lot to sit on their hands for. 2 goals and 2 assists the last 6 games for Troy Stecher. Former King, former Red Wing, ties the game up. We go to break, 11:15 in the second. Yeah, right on that side, as we talk about the Jets control their own destiny, they win out. They essentially close out these 2 teams bar none. I know it's going to be difficult off the back-to-back tomorrow. It doesn't get much lower than to be a Preds fan. I understand the participation banners and all that. I'm speaking as someone that's from Detroit. It's been pretty low here for about a decade side for all my teams. Their participation banners aside, Ryan, I give you that. But the way that they sold at the deadline and now bringing Barry Trotz in there, at least if you are the Preds, you are always in the mix of the postseason. I don't ever remember the Preds ever having a bad team. Problem is, both the Preds and Jets have hard schedules. Calgary easy. Yeah, Calgary toward the back end of it has been easy, but as Cooper Hopkins talked about when he was in here with me, most of the time he had to leave in the first period. Calgary doesn't make any of these games easy, and I don't think the game on Wednesday will be easy against the Sharks, even though it should be, which you're correct about that. I guess it's new territory for the Flames to have to struggle in between when you lose Johnny Gaudreau and you lose Matthew Tkachuk, and for them to still kind of be at this point is a little remarkable when you think about it. But yeah, I mean their window's now, and it's next year. After that, you have the signings of Kadri, Huberdeau, and Mackenzie Weegar, who are all coming off down years, and that's your core. After that, I mean, you got to figure that out for the Flames. You got to essentially start over. Maybe even have Dustin Wolf in that next year. Who knows? So we're back underneath the action now. Shot goes off. Markstrom, another one saved by Markstrom. 2 quick opportunities, and right off the commercial break, Nashville tried to make this a 2-1 lead. Markstrom made a couple of big saves there, as this was loose in the high slot. It was Trenin again, and it was solved by Markstrom. The only reason this is a thing is thanks to the Jets' collapse. Yeah, when you think about it, on that side of it, they had pretty good control in January, did they not? And then they started to lose a little bit of games. But even with Ryan on that side, again, thank you for your comments and keep these going. Even with all that stuff, I still think the Jets, with all the personnel they have and Connor Hellebuck, they can do some danger in the first round. I think they can be an upset team, especially if they play against the Golden Knights. I understand people think that's blasphemous. I kind of think the Jets can get it done, as this falls back to Saros and makes the save. So I don't think they're just a standard team that's left that they can find any sort of reprieve. But that's central. You could say a little bit of a collapse on that end, and you can also say a big time push for the Minnesota Wild. So if, Ryan says the Jets will be the only team I think to be in the first in the West to miss the playoffs if it happens. If the Jets miss the playoffs, it's going to be a total blowout. I don't know, honestly, on that one. You got a lot of your other big guys already signed up. You might be thinking about Kevin Shovel-Dayoff. That might be a blow up as far as the GM side, but I don't know if you kind of move that team around or if they really can, is the question mark I have. Jets can beat Vegas and Edmonton can't beat the Wild. I like that call for Vegas. That's what I agree with. Edmonton can scoring everybody in the Wild. It depends on if they're going to be a team that can score or not. That's kind of the question for them because we know what they can bring on defense. A hook into the face of Toffoli against McDonagh. And McDonagh going to go to the box. Excuse me, that was Mangiapane. That got hit in the face. So the Flames got the power play. I will pull back up the rosters here, and then we'll get to your comments once we get a break. I appreciate all that stuff on that, so I keep it going. As it's Nazem Kadri off the tie-up, and this is picked up for the Preds and sent back down for Noah Hanifin. Hanifin now will recollect in his own end, and the Flames on the power play about $1:45 left to go in their man advantage, and they go off sides. So I get a little bit of a reset as far as the team stats. Again, it's just one goal to talk about. And the first, it was Igor Fanaseyev from Mark Jankowski at 5:49 of the first. Then they took the second period, 7:41. Troy Stecher from Andrew Mangiapane and Dillon Dube at 7:41. Your penalties are 4 for the Flames and 2 for the Preds. As the Preds having to kill off the second power play here for Calgary. Now near the right side wall. This will go D. Weegar sends the pass across. Try to get this one back, and this falls back out of the zone. And the Flames will have to check up here for Hanifin. And now Mackenzie Weegar. Weegar will rock the pass toward Nazem Kadri near the right side wall. Trying to keep this off the forehand. Drop it here for Weegar. As he sends this one across for Hanifin. 2 D3 forwards on this power play. As it's sent back around. Hanifin going to let it go into the traffic. And this bounces off of one of the Flames before it ever hits Saros. Here's Ritchie as this is sent back down here. Hanifin. Now Huberdeau. Huberdeau in between the legs to Nazem Kadri. Here's faking the slapper. Weegar near the left side dot. Flames patient, looking for a shooting outlet. Here comes the bomb, and this one wide for Hanifin. Weegar able to keep it in the zone near the left side of the blue line. Settles it down, leaves it here for Weegar. And now Hanifin. Hanifin patient. Near the right side boards, here's Nazem. Nazem in the middle of the slot sends it across Hanifin. He looked for a pass in between the circles. This will stay with the Flames. And a backhanded play, attempted pass. This will go with the Preds. I thought there was going to be a call against Nashville. There was some heavy jersey contact, a stick up underneath the shoulder. But this will stay with the Preds. Can they clear it out? Yes, they do. Colton Sissons. Calgary had some pressure there, but they couldn't get anything to happen. Couldn't find any shot lanes. And now Elias Lindholm flying across the Flaming Sea gains the entry. Here's his shot. It gets deflected. Might fall back to him near the right side wall. He tries to slap shot this thing down where it's picked up by Big Nikita Zadorov. His pass in through the center. Picked up now by Saros with the goal stick. It's Tyson Barrie. Tyson Barrie waits, gets around Mangiapane, and now this will be an opportunity here for the Preds to send this in deep. And again, immediately I'll try to get as many call-outs as I can. It's a little mashing it here for the Preds as they're still in this thing, but barely, even more so than the Flames. Mangiapane, backhand, forehand, and a late arriving back check by the Preds knocks it away from Andrew there. As this is set across the wall, Jankowski absorbs a hit, and now the Flames try to clear this across the red line, but it's into the players' bench now. So Fanaseyev, he's the goal scorer for Nashville. He loses it. Here's Walker Dewar. Walker Dewar emerges with it now near the right side dot, and behind the office of Saros tries to wrap it around, and he'll find it, hold on, and make the save as Trevor Lewis was in his face. We get a commercial break. Troy Stecher ties it up. Mangiapane looking for more, but it's still 1-1 with 7:46 in the second.
You're looking pleased with yourself. But I just switched to Verizon. So you got an awesome network.
Boo, red team power play. So I appreciate you guys following along in between Twitter Spaces and YouTube. It's John Ryan. That's the handle on both sides. So if you want the clear audio and you maybe want to get a voice from the broadcast, I'm just here on my lonesome air at this time because Cooper Hopkins had to step up for the rest of it. We will be back together, I believe, Wednesday or Thursday. It's going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for me. Friday is plans with the fiance. Saturday I have local assignment here at Lakeland Ice Arena for Michigan Independence Hockey League for the Waterford Sharks and the Muskegon Voyagers. They end their regular season. And then Sunday, more plans. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So for tomorrow, I'll just pull this up as far as schedule. Let's just do this so I can let you know what I'm covering in case you want to follow along. So Monday and Tuesday are locked in. Tomorrow is going to be Jets and Wild. Jets and Wild off the back-to-back. That's at 8 Eastern. I'll have the coverage for you, complete game story to follow. But we'll give you scoring updates per usual. So Monday, Tuesday locked in. As far as Wednesday and Thursday, that's going to be dependent on the playoff races. The Flames end their regular season on Wednesday against the Sharks on TNT. There's not a lot of hockey games on that end, so if that's what Cooper wants to go with, that's what we'll cover. I bet that's probably what we're going to work with. There's also NBA playing games on Wednesday, which I'll cover if he can't cover anything at all. And then Thursday, if he's available instead of Wednesday, that will be a hockey matchup. And there's Jets Avalanche, there's Wild Preds, there's some other things that are close to playoff matchups. Maybe even Golden Knights Kraken again on that side if there's division stuff to play for. And then that'll be it for the week for me.
Face-off, Nashville's own Backlund on the draw against Cody Glass.
So we're going to take this face off again. Cody Glass can't win the defensive zone draw. This will stay with the Flames. Here comes a slap shot. This is high off the end glass, but it will fall to Rasmus Andersson. He absorbs a hit, and his pass attempt is going to fall back into the defensive zone of the Flames. 7:30 left to go in the second. It is a 1-1 contest. At least with this intrigue, whether or not the season will be done for both of these teams after this game is over. At least there's been a lot of intrigue to it because this is indeed a win or go home. That's all there is to it, especially with the Jets picking up a big win against the Sharks. Admittedly, for the Jets, it's going to be tough with Minnesota and Colorado in their final games because I still think there's going to be much to play for. Maybe not as much for Minnesota. We'll be locked in that third seed, but with Dallas getting a huge win against the Red Wings, Colorado is going to have to keep pace if they want to hold on to the 1 seed and win the Central. So that could come down to something there that the Flames could take advantage of. But they've got to win this game, and they've got to win the game against the Sharks on Wednesday. For Nashville, they don't control their own destiny either, even less so. They're going to need everyone else to lose around them. So Coleman try to get this now into the neutral zone as this gets knocked away from Stetcher, and here comes Tyson Barrie off the backhand. As this is flipped high off the end. Boards keeper Sherwood will settle it down. And now the Preds will gain the entry. They're way offsides. Hit about 2 other Nashville Predators offsides as Evangelista brought it in. And we get a stoppage with 6:27 in the second. So as it is, I'll finally be able to give you a team stat reset. It is 21 shots to 20 in favor of the Preds. The hits are 11-8 Flames, 17-16, pretty even on the draws, but that will go to Nashville. Nashville's had power play opportunities. They're 0 for 4. Calgary's 0 for 2, but Nashville's power play, with the exception of their fourth one, has been really good. They hit a couple posts. They've had a lot of shots. Very fortunate that this game is still 1-1. It could easily be 3-1 Nashville, the way that this has been played. Stetcher 3 goals in the last 10 games, 1 goal in the previous 109. He's been excellent since coming over here for Brad Treliving's squad. Again, there wasn't much for them to be able to add. They did all their heavy lifting in the offseason when they knew that they were going to lose Gaudreau. They had to lose him for nothing, but they were able to at least trade Matthew Tkachuk for Jonathan Huberdeau. It's his Mackenzie Weegar, Cole Schwindt, and a first-round pick. As it's 5:55 left to go in the second. This is played off the back pass. And now Dillon Dube drop this here for Elias Lindholm. He shoots this from a severe angle. And the Flames will pick it up near the right side of the red line. Send it back around as Lindholm hits this off the kick plate, Tanev. And now Tanev will send this right to the Preds. As they'll try to take this right to left. Good bounce off the skate. Evangelista with a good sauce. But this goes to Tanev. And since the Preds are offside, they'll take a change. They were near the players' bench. Christopher Tanev now gains the red line. This hits off of the stick of Saros, and he'll casually play this to his defense. And the pass gets rocketed off the inboards and falls back to Rasmus Andersson. Flames have it now. 21 shots to 20 on the board now. Still tied 1-1. This game's been pretty even, if not for the post and some power plays that Nashville should have converted on. It's been a better second period, but Flames certainly didn't start on time. There's Rasmus Andersson into the traffic. This goes high off the right side of the red line, although it couldn't be located momentarily for the Preds. And now Trevor Lewis here from Lucic. Yakov Trenin has it now across the Sportsnet logo. As this is flipped in, this bounces off of Tyson Barrie. Picked up now by Markstrom. And again, he misplayed one that ended up being a goal. One of the first ones in the NHL for the Nashville Preds. As this is picked up in the high slot, fake the slapper as this goes back around the inboards. Nashville's got the puck possession, and the Flames' end is picked up now near the right side wall and sent back down. A race for the puck the other way, but Nashville will collect. Dante Fabro take his time as Flames trying to get a change. Mark Jankowski will sauce this one nicely from 40 feet. As the Preds gain the entry, they'll try to shoot this one off a backhand. This goes wide to the right of the goal mouth. And Mangiapane will flip it down. Across the neutral zone, Jankowski gets an interception, gets a hit miss, picked up now off the give and go. Jankowski being held momentarily. And I think this bounced into the netting, so they're going to say this is last played off of that. 404. Nashville's not going to like it because they have the offensive end. But we go to break. Tied at 1. 4 minutes left to go in the second. So he says, if the East is so much better, why are there 7 100-point teams in the West and only 5 in the East? Well, doesn't that speak to the point of some very top-heavy teams in the East? When you think about that too, as you said, I mean, look, I'll try to find something objective here to counter your point because I don't think your point is incorrect. But when you think about some of the West, you have some pretty poor teams as far as Chicago, Anaheim, San Jose. That is a little worse than Columbus, Montreal, Philadelphia, Washington, wouldn't you say? There's a lot more bottom feeders in the West that can balance out some of those point totals. I can kind of counter with that. And you have an elongated point total President's Trophy and an historic Boston Bruins. That kind of has a little bit left to do with it. We wouldn't be talking about your point as much, even though I agree you're 100% correct, if the Edmonton Oilers didn't spend the last month and a half on a complete heater with having McDavid, Draisaitl, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Uno Dos Tres power play leader in points all on the same team. And that trade, and I know it's crazy Ken Holland, and I'm really pissed about how he left my Red Wings, and Steve Eisman had to take over to complete an empty cupboard. But that trade for Matthias Ekholm, boy, he certainly nailed that one. At least he got one of those right, and the Oilers look good. But your point is well taken. And also for Florida, again, they were dead to rights, and now they're right back in this thing. So I'll put the recorder on officially in a second. We get another stoppage. There's more parity in the West. Yeah, there is more parity in the West because there's more teams that suck. That's part of it too. As this is sent back around the inboards now, and now this will be picked up by the Flames in their own end. It's Jonathan Huberdeau as he'll recollect this. Nashville trying to get a piece of it. And now Tanev will slap shot this back around the inboards as it's picked up now by Nashville. Tomasino almost turned it over. And now this will go back to Tanev. Tanev fires into the traffic. Flames settle it down. Huberdeau, what a shot block there by the Preds. He tried to wind and fire. Maybe took a little bit too much time. At least Jonathan Huberdeau was decisive about what he wanted to do. Here's Hanifin into the traffic. And now the right side pad as this gets knocked away off the stretch. Picked up Tomasino off the stick blade as this gets around Livingstone. Sent it into the plane and a good back check there by Tyson Barrie as Jonathan Huberdeau lost it. Mangiapane couldn't locate it off the backhand. The shots are now 22-21. As this is flipped up in the air, it's going to find Troy Stecher in the high slot. Keeps it alive off the backhand. Mangiapane turns and fires. That's off the outside of the cage. Nazem Kadri recollects here. Stecher! And that goes off the glove hand of Saros. As this is sent down again. Nashville, a little bit elongated shift, about a minute 30 now. They're just making their changes. Here's Nick Ritchie. Steps through. Big save. Saros as players go down. Is there a tripping call against the Preds? Sanford was stuck as he got his stick stuck in one of the Flames. 2:35 left to go in the second. Tanev. This goes off of the right pad. There's a couple shot blocks. Maybe that was Cody Glass. Tanev tried to settle it down off the replay, but off the most recent rush, it was a great play by Stecher This hit off the left side of the blocker, maybe even off the outside of the post, off of the carom, as Sanford and Coleman got tied up. And I think that they're going to call this one against Zach Sanford. And that is honestly a little bit of a tough call, but it is made with 2:35. Again, the call is slashing. I saw a trip. I didn't see the slash. So if the slash is indeed, that's going to be more of an obvious one, more so than getting taken down and tripping. So slash is the call. The Flames will be on the power play again. They have not scored. They need to score. As Toffoli picks this up, and this will be sent back to Rasmus Andersson into the defensive zone. The Flames got to collect themselves, and they need to make something happen here. They can go into the second intermission with the lead if they score here. Elias Lindholm send this around the inboards, eludes a hard hit. And now Rasmus Andersson, great move near the left side dot, buys some space. This pass was a hopeful one, but Backlund will find it. Rasmus Andersson now near the left side circle, drops it here for Backlund. It's Toffoli. He's going to work his way to the right dot. He likes that spot, especially in the reverse camera from the right dot to the left dot. And now this will be Rasmus. Pick it up now for Mangiapane. He almost flubs on it. It just seems like Nashville's a little tired right now as Jonathan Huberdeau puts this around the inboards. Here's Elias Lindholm. Will collect. Toffoli, patient. Here's Huberdeau and Backlund. They'll fire this, does Michael. Puts it right on. 1:24 left to go in the second. 50 seconds left to go in the main advantage for Calgary. Still a 1-1 game. 24 shots to 22 in favor of the Flames. Although the score's still tied. Yusei Saros makes the save. Again, Yusei Saros playing in game number 63 of the NHL season. We have 82 games in a regular season. More of an old school Marty Brodeur type deal there for Saros, although I know normally he would be in the 70s. But you don't see that too often anymore. He is the numero uno goaltender, no bones about it. This is an offensive zone draw win. Weegar here for Huberdeau. This one gets blocked. Picked up now by Nick Ritchie as this is sent back around from Kadri. Here's Weegar. Fake the slap shot Hanifin. He lost it. Try to get recollected by Huberdeau. Where is it now? It's in behind the office of Yusei Saros, and this will be picked up here by Jankowski as he will try to gain the entry. He'll like to fire a long shot. This takes a bounce in off the inboards, but the Flames do collect it. Now we know Hanifin. Hanifin takes his time with a right wing entry here. Huberdeau slows it up the sauce out of the air, and this will be sent back down into the defensive end. Hanifin will have to race back and collect as it's down to 3 seconds. Here's Nazem Kadri here for Ritchie. Ritchie now near the right side wall. Got to elude ahead. Kadri needs to play quickly and behind the office of Saros as the Preds clear it down. It's a race for the puck, a one-on-one, a battle near the right side. Tanev just trying to hold the man as this is a little bit of a tangle up. 22 seconds left to go in the second. I think Chris Tanev is going to go to the box either for a hold or a trip, and then we'll put Nashville on the power play. And if we're going to say this honestly, and I'll do so now, if you're thinking about penalty calls or what's there and what's not, you have got to finish if you're both teams right now. They are a combined 0 for 7. Tanev is in the box now, so 5 power plays upcoming here for the Preds, 3 for the Flames that have just finished. And if Nashville doesn't score, they're going to have carryover power play time. This is attempt number 5. They've 0 for 4 with 7 shots. They've also hit a couple posts, with the exception of the last power play that Nashville had. It's been really good, honestly. When we didn't score, they generated a lot of chances. Tommy Novak now near the right side of the boards. As this is recollected by Calgary, they'll try to get this out of their own end, but they won't need to because the time's going to run out. 1-1 after 2. We come in the third. It's going to be a power play for the Preds. It'll be their 5th. It's a 1-1 game. All sorts of intrigue in this one because if it's a win in regulation, one team can stay alive, and if it's not for the other, one season ends. Come right back to the third period call in a moment. Saros has to stand on his head again. Brodeur was in the beneficiary of a powerful neutral zone trap. Saros gets shelled every game. Preds power play is a joke. Preds power play hasn't done too well in this one right now. Fire Hynes and Hynes. That's Preds fan. That's a they haven't looked too bad in this game. I can say that there for Fire Hynes and Hyno. And I do think the Preds as far as some of the plays that they've made, as far as the trades in the deadline side, I think you have some optimism to feel into next season because this team is still kind of hung around a little bit, even with all the injuries that they've had. So I think that they can rebound a little bit. And Cinderville will kind of do that on the fly, get some resources back. I mean, you made a killing for the Tanner Janot trade. You got to like some of the other trades and stuff that were made. It made a lot of sense to do so. That's one of the Preds fans that actually is more of a realist and wants to see more than just making the playoffs. I can understand and sympathize with that on that side. My Red Wings haven't done anything in about a decade on that side, especially with Ken Owen screwing them over and then going to Edmonton. Steve Eisenman's going to have to clean up this mess for still a while longer. So let's reset here before I take a little break as far as your NHL scores and what leaves the wild card situations for anyone that is just checking in. So let me give you the scores here. So with the Jets getting the 6-2 victory, you knew that going into tonight. This is essentially a win in regulation or a go home. Even if it's an overtime win, you'll take the points. But whoever doesn't win in regulation, probably the season's going to end. You got to get 2 points if you want to keep it alive. So the Jets, they get the win. And when you look at the wild card spot of it, it is 93 points. They're 3 points ahead of the Flames at the moment, 5 points ahead of the Preds. They have an even 80 games. Calgary will be at 81 when this is done. Nashville will be at 80. So these points are ones that they have. The Jets, they went out. They control their own destiny, bar none. The Capitals get a 5-2 win over the Islanders. That's big for the Pittsburgh Penguins because the Islanders don't pick up any points, and the Panthers get just one. They lose 2-1 in overtime against the Maple Leafs. On that side, when you look at the wild card, we'll look in the East. It is the Islanders picking up nothing. So the Penguins are inactive. They sit just outside with 90. Islanders in the second with 91. There are 81 games played. Florida, same amount of games played. They're 92 points. If the Penguins win tomorrow, they can essentially leapfrog the Islanders for WC2. More finals for you. The Sabres beat the Rangers in a shootout. They win 3-2. I believe mathematically the Sabres are still alive. They have yet to be eliminated as of the moment, but that is ultimately dependent on, again, they're at 79 games played. They have 3 more games to play. They need to win out, and they may need some help. So I don't believe Buffalo controls their own destiny. Even if they win all of the games, they're going to need help, but they still keep it alive at the moment. The Stars get a humongous 6-1 victory over the Red Wings. That is crucial for the Dallas Stars. Because of that, they go into a tie in the Central with 104 points. Dallas is the second seed because the Avalanche own the tiebreaker. And if the Stars can get in the first seed, they can avoid playing the Colorado Avalanche. If that is indeed what's going to end up happening, I think they're going to be able to avoid that most likely, but they'll get the easiest matchup that they can get. They already handled the Seattle Kraken very well on that side, I believe, going 3-0-0 in the year, or at least 0-2-1 if you're the Kraken on that side. So you can guarantee yourself an easier matchup, and at least make sure you don't play the Avs. Kraken have tied it up. It's a 1-1 game. Depending on what happens between the Canucks and Kings, let's say the Kings don't pick up any points tonight against the Canucks, and the Kraken win, they'll be at 100 points. And that could essentially, if they can take spot number 3, they can avoid playing the Avalanche in the first round. So still a lot to play for if you're the Kraken. It is 1-1 in our game between the Preds and the Flames, and scoreless between the Canucks and Kings. The Blackhawks still up 2-1 on the Wild. For the Wild, they're probably locked into the 3rd seed at this point. I'm going to get a couple typing in as far as the story, and I'll take a quick break.
Again for the Golden Knights in a week's time. All right, Ryan, Eric, Corey, this is going to be a massive, massive 3rd period. One of these 2 teams will be officially eliminated. Full analysis coming up next from Calgary, 1-1 after 2.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is big, but you'll only find it here. Champion Automotive Group Pre-Owned. Champion Canadian checkered flag trio comes with lifetime powertrain protection, 10-year roadside assistance, and more. And you'll only find it at Champion.
Over 1,000 pre-owned to choose from.
With 7 convenient locations, you win big. At Champion Auto Group, you always finish first. Log on, championauto8.com.
Fast speed with more Dawn Power Wash. So extravagant. That's like, what is it like? Now Power Wash gives you the power of overnight soak in minutes. Minutes. With 3 cleaning boosters, not found in traditional dish soaps that'll break down, loosen, and lift away even weeks. So much faster. Just 3 sets on. No water needed to rinse it. But for mess, let the set sit a few minutes before wiping. Even cleans, but real. Hey, it's more than soap. It's Power Wash.
In 1971, while watching TV as an astronaut golf on the moon, Travis Mathew thought, that outfit is terrible. He vowed the next astronaut would wear a stylish Travis Mathew golf ensemble, and he made it happen. I mean, the ensemble was unpressurized in moments after stepping out of the rocket, the astronaut died in agonizing death. But everyone agreed his corpse looked great.
I was just a little girl. I asked my mom, what would I be? Here's what she said to me. Open up now.
Dead Rise, rated R. With every generation, the Subaru Forester is building crash safe. Working to undo the impact of a crash you had on your life. Which has led the Forester to even be able to detect it and stop it. The Subaru Forester has earned the IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus 9 times, more than Honda CR-V and Toyota RAV4. So that's Subaru.
On the sizzle of this proposal. Today, this truck's gonna fly.
Kyle?
And while Romeo over here is starting to look cool, things are about to heat up.
Uh-oh. Darn it, Kyle.
And you don't have any right home insurance coverage? You get a paid for this yourself. So get all state and be better protected from mayhem like me. That's a hard note.
Score and win prize winners through 2 periods of play, including Mary Holly of Lethbridge. Mary's won a $250 Save on Foods gift card. We still have the 3rd period to go. On an extra score, you can be comfort of your own home. Just scan the QR code on screen and shop SaveOnFoods.com today.
So it was Igor Afanaseyev with his first NHL goal at 5:49. Markstrom goes ahead and plays the puck. It's turned over. Easy one for Afanaseyev. And it's 5:49. It's a 1-0 lead in the first for Nashville. Troy Stecher ties it up in the second at 7:41 from Andrew Mangiapane and Dillon Dube. It was a screen in front for Jonathan Huberdeau, and it's finished off by Stecher, and it's tied at 1. And when you look at the team stats, and that's what I'm going to type in as far as the rest of it, and I'm going to take a quick break. 24 shots to 22. Calgary. And then 14-11 on the hits. Calgary has that edge on that, 20-19, just barely Calgary on the face-offs. What is not the pretty stat in this game, and again, the Preds will be on their 6th power play as we come back into, I believe it's actually 5. That's already updated there, but they're in the middle of their 5th when we start the 3rd period. Both teams have combined 0 for 8 on the power play so far if Nashville doesn't score.
I think Troy Stetcher's acquitted himself very well in this tryout of sorts.
for the Calgary Flames. 3 goals in his last 10 games. Some very, very big ones. I think he's fitting into the room well. What I like the most about him is that emotion. We saw him Points Outside WC2. This guy's fully engaged, fully in it.
So who takes the game? Who's going to be the one that's going to be motivated? Who's going to be able to not look like they want to be in the golf course at this point? That's what my broadcast partner in the first period, Cooper Hopkins, had talked about. I know he couldn't stick to the whole thing, but that was most important. Who's going to be able to give you something in this game right now in this last 20 minutes, unless we need to go to OT? But that whole push, who's got what's left? Because that's what matters. I want to make sure I write this down too, because this certainly stands out. 17 block shots to 3. Nashville. 17 block shots through 2 periods. You can't tell me that the Preds don't want this thing. You imagine you have 17 in 2 periods. You definitely don't care where you are. Sellers for the future. Joe Rogan says, Carolina is dead to me after losing to the Sabres last week. Florida takes out Carolina in the first round. Kings game still scoreless. Thank you for that update, Joe, on that side. So Carolina is dead to you. Well, you know what, Joe, to your point, my friend, you might be correct, because when you think about Andrei Svechnikov with the ACL tear, I know that was weeks ago. Do you believe, Joe, because again, you put this in there because I may be upset for a bet, but I'm just saying in general, do you believe Carolina is in danger in general? Even without that point, do you think that they have enough goal scoring to get past the first round? Or do they even get overtaken by the Devils as far as the Metro side? What do you think about Carolina's chances? Because I don't know if they're going to go very far. I think that they're going to be the same team that they kind of were last year. You don't expect them to go 6 on the road last year again, but they got to be able to score. And somebody like Svechnikov, that's a huge loss. I'll be right back. Let's go take a quick break.
He's also not eligible to go and play American hockey, which is unfortunate, because I think he could really benefit from a good long run, which it looks like the Wranglers are going to go on. And that playing professional hockey would be a great stepping stone, but because of the contract he signed, he wasn't on the appropriate roster in time, so he can't play in the NHL.
Truly, I spoke to him about this, and I said, does he have to get in? He said, no, I make no promises either. It's a straight up situation where, we don't know what's going to happen. Opportunity is going to dictate.
And as a player, I'd have mixed emotions right now. Yeah, you want to get in. You're chomping at the bit, but you really want to get into these circumstances. Is this a locker room you want to go and be in if a team has just been eliminated from playoffs? Because that's the only way he's getting in. I don't know if I'm really that excited to play that game. Yes, selfish, like maybe I'm sounding a little bit selfish.
Why not?
Well, I want to be playing maybe on the roster on day one when everyone's excited. I want to be out there when the team's in the middle of the season for my first game, like it happened to me. I want it to be a meaningful game. I mean, it is your first NHL game, but to me, it just lacks a little bit of luster.
It's interesting.
And he hasn't played for the last couple weeks, too, right? He's only been playing college hockey, not with pros.
Okay, real quick. Thought on the third period. What has to happen besides the obvious of scoring one more goal?
Markstrom's got to keep doing what he's doing. He's holding this team in the game. Much like last period, they got to get through an extremely important penalty kill right now.
Derek.
I can say it this time, just the most important period of the season. Right?
Fool me once. All right. Saros, though, the difference maybe. Flames need one more. Stay with us.
The Stanley Cup Playoffs Bracket Challenge presented by Geico is back. It's time to see if you can predict the playoffs. Create and join leagues to test your skills against friends and family. Sign up now at NHL.com/bracket.
Oh. Sorry about that. I'm moving a little slow nowadays, honestly, with the little bit too much elliptical workout, cerebral palsy and all that, trying to make sure we don't get the legs tight. I was feeling sore. I had a long couple days. I had to spend some time with the fiance and all that yesterday. So, a long time with the family. So let me get this comment here with Joe Rogan. Said, yeah, they disappointed me late in the season. Basically, the first team I'm giving up on my cup bets. Pretty safe bet that they don't make it to the finals, in my opinion. I'm right there with you, Joe, on that side. I don't think they're going to make it either. That's a very safe bet. I can take that one to the bank. I agree with you 100%.
Only Platinum Plus is bigger. With double the dome grease fighting power and double the scrubbing power. So you can load this and get this.
So just we went through the number reset, the game reset, we went through the score reset as well. I just want to pull up this window up really quick for the Facebook side, let everybody know what I'm working on for this week. So today, tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, I think we'll be able to get all 4 of those. But that'll be it for me for the week. So Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday are locked in. We're here with you now. And then tomorrow is going to be Winnipeg and Minnesota. That'll be 8 Eastern. Wednesday, I'll have to talk with Cooper Hopkins. He's going to send me a message and we'll figure out what we want to do. It'll be the Flame season finale, maybe. If he wants to do that again, that's my dude on that side. And we've been working together over the past year. So if we want to close that out, I'm going to give him one of those on that before we get into our playoff coverage. I'm not going to say no if that's what he wants to do. If he wants to pass on that, I'm going to do the NBA playing game on Wednesday. We'll figure out what that's going to be. I'll figure out that situation. Thursday can be interesting because, again, this is all playoff dependent. Winnipeg, Colorado, Minnesota, Nashville. I'm open to do kind of a dual look, maybe write one story, maybe 2 small ones, kind of give you guys a look on it depending on what you want to do. As far as Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I have plans with the fiance Friday. Sunday, got family plans, but Saturday it'll be a local sound for me at Lakeland Ice Arena for the Michigan Independence Hockey League. It'll be the Muskegon Voyagers and the Waterford Sharks. They close out the regular season, so I'll be on location. That game will be on YouTube, and I'll throw the link out there on World TV on my side, just in case you guys want to check that out, which is pretty cool. Yoga and all that stuff would be cool if I could bend myself really well. I would need somebody to stretch me. I think that's what helps. Like physical therapy and all that stuff will help. I can't really stretch myself to the point where enough where it makes a ton of difference. But like walking, running, all that stuff helps. You got to make sure that you keep yourself active and in shape. I make sure that I treat myself the way that I'm supposed to as much as possible. Because if you just sit and do nothing, it just gets worse. But who cares? I'm fine. 36. I'm still walking around doing all right. It's all good. I have a lot of fun with you guys on this side. It's been fun since starting this from your side on YouTube. I should have probably did this earlier to do these games. I wish I could show them. I just didn't want to get. Not that I'd ever be monetized, but it'd be nice to be able to show it and do the play-by-play over it. But I appreciate that. As it's 19:55 left to go in the third, and this is another power play opportunity for Nashville. Short-handed opportunity for Backlund. Try to get a couple shots on Saros, and he brushed both of those aside. He's still attentively in the butterfly near the left side post. Lindholm off the outside of the cage. So Calgary trying to get a short-handed attack here as this is sent back down to start the third period. As Andersson will collect in his own end. Markstrom will take a look at it. And here's a long outstretched pass. As Nashville's power play, their fifth, admittedly, has not started out very good in this third period. It's 26-22 on the shot board. And as it said, we're watching this on ESPN on Sportsnet. If it's a win or go home. That is what's happening. If both these teams don't get both points, one of them's out. So Cody Glass sends this right across. This is a high pass off the window. This will allow the Flames off the sauce. Here's Coleman. He's gone. Coleman, one of them was Saros. It is a left pad save for Yusei. And a hooking penalty upcoming. And we will see if this will be against Nashville. I imagine that it would have to be on Coleman, as Tyson Barrie was the one that hooked him because Coleman was gone. This was an excellent sauce pass. And when they show the replay, I'll be able to tell you who actually made that one because I didn't see it in real time. So that was Trevor Lewis, fourth line side out the kill as they hooked. And I don't even really know if Tyson Barrie, that's a soft hook. Yeah, it's in toward maybe the right hand. That's very soft on that side. I've seen a lot worse not be called. I'll tell you that honestly. So 4-on-4, 32 seconds. left to go on the 4-on-4. 18:53. We're just underway here in the final frame of regulation, unless we need more time. So Stastny tried to relocate it. Again, that kind of trips me up when I see that name. That's an extra E in that one of no relation to Paul Stastny or any of those names like that. As this is picked up now for Nikita Zadorov. Zadorov will take his time as they'll make their pass right to left. It's the Flames in the all red with the orange and yellow stripe in the middle of the shirt that you normally would see in the Nashville Predators with the yellow jerseys on the type with the white shirts in the middle. As this is Zadorov. Now here's a chance for Dillon Dube. Fakes it off the wraparound, shoots it wide. And here's the Flames now. Here's their power play. If they don't score, they'll be 0 for 4. Nashville already 0 for 5. Mangiapane in the high slot now for Dube. Sends it across. A great look. That shot wide near the left side of the wall. Hanifin now for Dube near the left dot. Dube trying to keep this alive off his forehand. Leaves it here for Hanifin. This goes off the left blocker of Saros. Down to a minute left to go in Calgary's power play. Hanifin will flip it down. Hanifin now will recollect as Calgary will get a chance to get something going again. Power plays haven't been too bad if you're Nashville. Just teams have not scored. That's the problem. Hanifin in between the backhand as that was wide for Dube. Can this be a diving keep in by Weegar? No. And he has to chip this back out to Hanifin. Hanifin now will settle it down for Jonathan Huberdeau. And it's Nazem Kadri on the second line of the power play for Darryl Sutter squad as this gets flipped down by Nashville. This will touch the stick of Jacob Markstrom. Will he wonder if the one goal that he gave up off just a routine pass that shouldn't have been made will be the one? Lucic, that could be the undoing of the season. Lucic missed off the slapper. Here's quickly the other way, a 2-on-2. Another long wrist shot, and this one's swallowed up by Markstrom, and we get a stoppage with 17:01. It was a short-handed chance for Nashville, and now the shots are 29-23 in favor of the Flames. It's a 1-1 scoreline. What's at stake in this game, you say? We can tell you, in all honesty. It needs to be a win. 2 points for either squad keeps their season alive. Anything less than that, the season is over. So one of these teams will be eliminated after tonight. Defensive zone draw upcoming. And this is picked up by the Flames. Chris Tanev going to need some help, though. He sends this toward the left side of the wall as this gets flipped back down. Kadri will get this now. Saros, and Saros will take his chip pass. It's Colton Sissons. Colton Sissons now stuck near the right side of the wall. This will go back in the office of Saros. He's on the stand-up now, holding on to the left post as this will be picked up here by Yakov Trenin. Trenin now being worked over as it's Tanev. Tanev will collect behind the office of Markstrom. And here come the Flames right to left. Tanev will wire it in from 70 feet. Coleman and on the chase, keeping the alive off the back end is Nazem Kadri. A couple extra shifts for him right now as the season's really on the line for the Flames. Again, it is for both teams officially, but Calgary's just had that topsy-turvy year all year. They never really got traction. Again, there's been some adjustments, but you can talk about that. They just haven't played well. And the funny part is the back end of the year is when they played the best, and if they would have played even average in the mix of that, they wouldn't even be in this position. And now, it's jammed in behind Markstrom. I had to take a couple extra beats to see just how in the hell that materialized. It was in behind the office of Markstrom, and it's Zach Sanford, it seems like, the former St. Louis Blue. As let's take a look at how this happened. So Kadri and Hanifin trying to find it. And did they just bank this in? I still don't see how. Now this is the third look. It is Cody Glass. Did this bounced off the referee, which allowed Nashville to pick it back up. And then they banked it off the backside of Markstrom, off the left shoulder and in. So it bounced off the zebra, came back to Nashville. Sanford picks it up, puts it in off the back of Markstrom's jersey, and Nashville has got a 2-1 lead. When you talk about breaks and non-breaks and everything else, again, you make your own luck. I'll say this, but even Cooper Hopkins would believe me on this, and even he would say this. We try to call it a straight down the middle, and admittedly, he's the fan and a lifelong Flames fan. But how many breaks can you get in one season? And again, if that is the bullet that ends the year, I mean, boy, oh boy, it's just topsy-turvy all year. What can you say? 15-25. left to go in the third. I mean, we've covered so many of these games. Admittedly, it's probably been about 15 or 20 on that side, probably leaning more toward 20 Flames games. I've always been on the Ivy because that's my guy on that end. That you have to just make sure you cover the games that mean something. And man, the Flames just weren't ready to start this game, and now they really got to find it. They've been playing behind, I think, close to a minute, 125 minutes over the stretch of 5 games when they've been 3-1-1. Now they're down 1. Here's the rush. Hanifin lost it. As this is sent back up, Evangelista off the 2-on-1. He's going to let the wrist shot go, and it's swallowed up by Markstrom, but it's still busy. As this is sent back around. And now this will bounce. Picked up here for the Flames. Tanev just trying to brush it away from keeper Sherwood. And now Livingstone will send it in deep. Flames need a goal. They have to be able to extend their season right now. They can't take a 0 or a 1. Their season will be over. Nashville needs a lot of help, but at least their season would be alive at this point if this game ended right now as it is 2-1 Nashville. Still 14-10 left to go. Here's a rush, Jankowski, and that was shot off the glass. Kel Foot, Tampa Bay Lightning man, will send this in as this gets picked up by the Flames. Stetcher, he takes a hard body contact as this is picked up now by Nashville. They'll keep it alive to the right side of the red line. 13:50 left to go in the third. Calgary needs a goal to extend their season and keep their hopes alive. If it ends now, it's over. Nashville needs a lot of help, but at least they wouldn't be eliminated tonight with the win if the score should stand. That's what's at stake. Here's a chance now for Trevor Lewis. I'm noticing a lot of fourth line time for Darryl Sutter's squad right now in a game that means so much. Does that mean that those are the horses he's going to go with? Because those are the ones that you trust. You need to have the ones that have the most sense of urgency. Mackenzie Weegar across the Flaming Sea. As this is picked up by Saros, he eludes some contact. And now this gets taken away from Sanford. He's the one that has the go-ahead game-winning goal right now for Nashville. That could extend it. Kadri will send this one back down as this gets intercepted by Kelfoot. And now here comes the Preds. Preds now off the drop as this is picked up by Cody Glass. He was the prospect of the Vegas Golden Knights. Now he's getting some time for Nashville in a meaningful moment as Coleman sends this here for Weegar off the give and go. Now back to Weegar. Weegar keeping this off the backhand. Now off his back skate. This will be Rasmus Andersson. And behind the office of Saros. Try to look for a pass out in front. And this is off a line change and not held in by the Flames. Defense will have to go back. Jonathan Huberdeau. Now this drop for Tanev. And that is picked back up by Huberdeau now to the left side of the red line. Flames have the puck possession. It's Nikita Zadorov. Hanifin. Send this back around. Tanev. Hanifin. They'll collect. It's picked up now by Hanifin as the Flames have this across the Flaming Sea. Mikael Backlund has to elude a hit. 12 minutes left to go in this third. Flames are up 30-26 on the shot board, but they're behind. Huberdeau off the giveaway. Backlund scores! It's a tie game again. The Flames are not extinguished just yet. 11:57 in the third. That's the intrigue that you need, and if you are the Preds, you can't turn it over. It's going to give the Flames hitting that Bic lighter, trying to reignite it a couple more times. Huberdeau, extra pass across, and the longest tenured Flame, Mikael Backlund, ties it up at 2. Saros tried to slide over, and it went underneath his left armpit, and the Flames have tied it up when they've absolutely had to have it. John Hynes, not too happy about that, drops an F-bomb. He knows off the turnover. Might have been Tyson Berry's mistake, but it's a neutral zone draw. As it's picked up by Rasmus Andersson, he gains the entry across the red line now. Mikael Backlund is 19th of the year. It's been the biggest Flames goal of the season to date, assisted by Mangiapane and Huberdeau. As it's 11:40 left to go in this third. Mackenzie Weegar now. I can't believe it, but I try to cover these games that have the most intrigue. This really is a winner-go-home elimination game in the regular season, and that's where we are right now. It's a tie game with all sorts of intrigue. Lindholm, cross pass Here's an opportunity to be settled down toward the right wing, sent back D. Rasmus Andersson will quickly move it, and this goes around the end boards. Tyler Toffoli is not going to be able to get there. And here's a pass that gets picked off by Rasmus Andersson. There would have been a long look on the other end for Nashville, but I couldn't get a number on it. They're going to go ahead and take a change nonetheless. So Hanifin has it here for Lucic, number 17, as they always chant his name. But again, probably the last year they'll do so. It'll be a $5.5 million cap relief with all intents and purposes. Now, this core is going to be together next year, but after that, Calgary is going to look a hell of a lot different as far as everything else. All they really know is between Kadri, Mackenzie Weegar, and Jonathan Huberdeau, that's it. If they're not leading it, then they're in real trouble, as this is iced. 10:39 in the third. Mikael Backlund has just tied this game at 2. I'll pull back up just in case you have any more comments and questions. I appreciate everyone that's been following along on the YouTube side humbly. Again, we will be back tomorrow once this game is done for, I believe it is, the Winnipeg Jets and the Minnesota Wild. Again, we will cover these races as much as we can. And if we don't have anything on Wednesday, I'm going to do an NBA play-in. As here's a slap shot for Stetcher here, the right side of the inboards. As this is recollected by Calgary, but it's busy. In behind the Office of Soros, as it's picked up down to the left side dot. And I'll pull this rosters back up, as this is still in the offensive end. Flames trying to keep it alive. And now Ryan McDonagh, he was picked up off of the trade, as this is a chance for Stetcher. He's got the first goal here for the Flames. Zadorov fans on a shot. This will be a chance for McKecker to clear it down. Stetcher will get it to Nikita Zadorov. Zadorov now gets this pass to Nazem Kadri. Kadri will send it back here for Coleman. He'll collect this in between his skates, as it's an opportunity for Rasmus Andersson. Coleman into the traffic, and this one goes just wide as Rasmus Andersson sends it another way. It's a 2-on-1 and a penalty, hand in the air. This is going to go against Coleman, Andersson, one of the Flames. I saw someone immediately throw an F-bomb and drop their stick. So the Flames going to the box again. It could be a high sticking call. One of the Preds is looking up to the chicklets to see the check of any blood. I see a cut in toward the left side of the lip against Philip Tomasino. Coleman got it right into the face. We'll sort it out. 9:39 in the third. It's a good thing I haven't had to use the cough drop though. That's a break on that side. The allergies and pollen and everything else aren't going to be alive just yet, but I'll just be happy in Michigan that it's going to get close to 75, I think. Close to 70. I'll say close to 70. I don't want to exaggerate at the end of the week. So after the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, as I said, I'll be done for the weekend for the rest of it. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, got a little bit of plans. Got to spend time with Lauren on that side, and then we'll figure it out for Saturday for local assignments. Sunday will be her mom's birthday on that side that we got to celebrate. So when we get to next week, again, I'll be in touch with Cooper on that side. He'll be able to join me for some of these. He won't be able to join me for all the playoff games. Might be Alec Nava as well. Then I'll get my first round playoff capsules done. There'll be a lot of work to do as far as that's done. So for the playoff capsules, I'll take it through the offense, defense, goaltending matchups, what I think is going to happen in the first round. There'll be a show on YouTube and a show on Twitter Spaces. I try to do separate addendums for each series. Didn't get a lot of views on that on YouTube. I mean, I only have like 85 subscribers. I don't have anything. This is a small channel, but try to get that where as many people can see it. Try to get as many links out there on Twitter so that way you guys can follow along. I'll give you my predictions of all that stuff in the first round. As far as the other rounds of predictions, will be in the mix of second, third round Stanley Cup Finals coverage. I should be able to get every single game of the Stanley Cup Finals with the exception of Game 2, because June 10th I got to go to a wedding. So Flames on the kill, as this is picked up now by Nashville. This would be their 6th power play, and this must be a kill for the Flames. Again, nobody scored with the man advantage, and there's been about 9 of them aside once this is all done. 3 for the Flames. It'd be 0 for 6 potentially for the Preds. Their last couple not been so great, but before that, it's been a lot of posts. They've been pretty active, and they had a lot of shots. Just hadn't found a way to score. As this is sent back down, Flames just get this out across the neutral zone. And we've hit the 8:55 marker. Again, 0 for 5, officially with 7 shots are the Preds. Evangelista now near the right side wall. And when we talk about in the open, the amount of mash unit that the Preds have right now on the ice and still keeping this within 2-2, that's very respectable on their part. But then again, it also talks about some of the same dynamics that we've talked about many times with the Flames. They love playing 1-goal games. It doesn't matter who they play. It's just the way it is. So near the right side is McEachran. He tries to get a pass to find Tommy Novak, but this gets picked off. And now this will be sent back down. Dillon Dube racing off the one-on-one, cutting into the net. Trying to get a backhand off, but he was canceled off by a host of Nashville Predators. And they will take their time. They're going to allow their forwards to get a fresh unit on the ice with 8:05 to go in the third. John Under with you from the Saddle Dome in Calgary, Alberta here. We're watching this one on ESPN Plus and the Sportsnet feed. Again, it's win or go home for both teams. Whoever gets 2 points keeps their season alive. That's what's at stake right now. That's what we can say definitively. Nashville will need a lot more help than Calgary to get into the postseason, as Calgary owns the tiebreaker on Winnipeg should it get to that point. But that is what's at stake right now. They must get a win in regulation or overtime. Got to pick up 2 points. So now near the right side dot, this will go back off of a stick blade. This will stay with Nashville. The power play is over. They're now 0 for 6. The Flames are 0 for 3. This is in the defensive end of Calgary. As Huberdeau knocks it loose, gets it to Backlund. It's a 3-on-2. And now Backlund. I'm working here with Stetcher. He was on the rush, and now this will be picked back up by Jonathan Huberdeau. This is a slap shot from Zadorov. This one might have blocked off Saros and got deflected, but instead, this will get picked up now and through the neutral zone. Here's an opportunity for Jonathan Huberdeau. What a move in through the neutral zone as he keeps it alive for Backlund. Where's that been? Noah Hanifin now near the left side wall. Keeps it alive off the backhand. Settle it down here for Backlund through the traffic. And Saros found it somehow as Cal Foot really wants to get a cross-check in the back of one of the Flames, but the Zebras quickly separate. That was Walker Dewar getting worked over a little bit. So both teams are looking good as far as getting a chance to get 2 points, but the question is who's going to pick it up. It's a tie game. 6:49 in the third. Come right back. Still a lot to be decided.
For bathroom odors that linger, try Febreze Small Spaces. Just press firmly and it continuously fights odors in the air and on soft surfaces for 45 days.
There's a lot of you guys jumping in there now. 6 of you, I appreciate it. Again, I apologize. I can't show the game on the YouTube side. I know people will ask that. Thankfully, you guys are well educated and you have not asked that, because if you do that, it's complete demonetized. And I can't show the game, but I will give you the play-by-play and give you the game story. hopefulsportsguy.wordpress.com per usual.
And design to drive motivation and results. My name is Andy, and I'm the founder of Aberon.
Cooper Hopkins did join me for the first period, the Flames resident expert. I know other stuff got in the way. He wasn't able to finish out the game, but we will be in talks as far as what to do for the rest of the week. I will be with you here until Thursday, and then I will be done through the weekend side with all the other plans and obligations that I got to take care of as far as the local assignment and spending some time with the fiance. So once that stuff's done, that will lead you into the first round of the playoffs, where I will get the capsules and everything else done. So it'll be busy. So once Sunday events are done, I got to get my ass home quickly and get the playoff capsules all taken care of. So it's going to be a busy weekend. Friday will essentially be the off day. I'm going to get some one-on-one time with the misses when I can. So they're showing Coleman, Saros. And wow, that one really did bounce off the referee and then off the back and then in. And that was the latest one against Markstrom. So again, that was the latest goal for Nashville. It did bounce off the referee, and then the Nashville Predator pick it up, put it in off the backside of Markstrom and in. But it's a 2-2 game. So Hanifin gets this one off the draw now. 6:40 left to go in the third. It is a tie game. Both teams need 2 points. Only one of them can get it. and that would keep the season alive. The other would be eliminated. That's what we have right now. As this is sent the other way off the 2-on-2 near the right side of the wall. And Nick Ritchie, again, he was traded for his brother on that side, Brett Ritchie. He's on the ice. As it's picked up by Cal Foote, he's going to race in toward the right side red line. Colt Sissons now, and behind the office of Jacob Markstrom. As this is sent back around the inboards for Noah Hanifin. And now Dube will help clear this one down the ice, as this will find Yusei Saros. 5:55 left to go in the third. Stastny, again, no relation to some of those other names. It's the E on the end of it. He's the back end defense here for the Nashville Predators. Again, Spencer Stastny, he'd be on the third line side for Hynes squad, as this is picked off in the neutral zone by the Flames, and then we'll send it down. Toffoli's kind of been the MVP this year. You can make no bones about that. He might need the one to get the game winner. He's going to go for a short side shot from a severe angle. And now number 73 will pick it back up as this goes now near the left side of the red line. Flames trying to get around Cody Glass, Elias Lindholm taking a look at it as Lindholm's still being worked over. And now this is picked off near the right side dot. Toffoli in the high slot. Here's Weger's shot. All sorts of traffic, and this gets blocked by Nashville. There was 3 bodies, all winded. They're going to go ahead and take a change, as 2 will pinch it in. Phil Tomasino will be the one to do so. And the Preds, off their change, force a steal. And now this is in behind the office of the Flames and Jacob Markstrom. Well, this will be try to get flipped out of the air and played with a high stick, although it's still live. Now near the right side of the red line, Mackenzie Weegar trying to throw a body as we're down to 4:40 left to go in regulation. It's a 2-2 tie. It's 2 points or go home. As McEachern had a play there from Afanaseyev, and that one goes up into the netting. Probably should have done more with it, given the circumstances. But 4:35 left to go in the third. We get a stoppage and a commercial break. The intrigue is palpable, my friends. So while we get the commercial break and the pipes are still feeling relatively fresh, I'm trying to make sure it's a little bit less yelling as much as possible. Please don't tell me we're going to do a buffer situation here. Let me try to pull this one back up. ESPN tried to pull a fast one there. So let me pull this back up here as far as your live scores. The Kraken have a 3-1 lead on the Coyotes, and the Canucks and Kings are still scoreless with 8:10 left to go in the second. Why is that important? Because the Kraken can pull to a third-place tie in the Pacific for 100 points, and they want to push the Kings into wildcard spot number 1, so that way they can avoid at all costs. And again, not today this would be the matchup, but could potentially be the matchup. Kraken and Avalanche in the first round. They have the same amount of points as the Stars. If the season did end today, that would be the matchup, but the Kraken trying to change things. So that would be very important. We talked about the race in the East and why that is important. The Panthers pick up 1. They don't get 2, so they can't pull away. And the Islanders don't pick up anything. That's good for the inactive Penguins. Islanders have 91 points. Pittsburgh Penguins have 90 with 2 games left. They could get past the Islanders and leapfrog them with a win in regulation tomorrow. So let's get back into the action here. 4:29 left to go in the third, and as I say that, the puck goes into the player's bench. That's the way it works sometimes. So the ugly in this game, if you want to talk about ugly, 10 power play opportunities. Do you want to take a guess at how many have been converted? If you said this, big old 0, you are correct. You win a prize. 36-27 on the shot board, 0 for 10 on the power play combined for both teams. Nashville had 6, Calgary had 4. Again, what's at stake in this game for those that are late in joining us It's 2 points or go home. The team that does not get 2 points, their season ends tonight. That is what is 100% certain. As Mangiapane now picks this up off the backhand. It's no Hanifin into the traffic, and it goes off the left blocker of Saros as it's recollected. Trenin trying to get it out as it's Mangiapane. He has to get this in between his skates, and his pass from the left to right circle goes to nobody except Nashville. And now they'll pick it up off the backhand, keeping this alive off the left side wall as it's Noah Hanifin. Hanifin will settle it down in behind the circles. 7-1-1 in the last 9 games against Calgary. Preds really love this matchup. Calgary does not. Here's Kadri, and with speed off the backhand, trying to drop it in for Coleman, and that got stick lifted away. Good defense there by the Preds. And here's a chance for Kakrin. Try to send this across as this gets recollected by Coleman. And now the Flames have it, and this is a chance for Ritchie. Blows a tire, and now Livingstone gets a chance to pick it up, put it the other way. He was running out of gasoline. He was just trying to weave his way through some bowling pins. He just didn't have the speed. And Mackenzie Weegar get this back in his office. And Markstrom down to 3:05. The shot board's starting to be in favor of the Flames, but they need a goal. 2-2 is the score. 37-27 Flames have the shot board advantage, but that doesn't matter right now. Tyler Toffoli. And behind the office is Saros. Trying to play it near the right side pads. It's canceled off near the right side red line. Sent back across around the horn. Zadorov into the traffic. And Saros closed the 5-hole. I don't think he knew he had it there for about 3 seconds. But he makes the save with 2:49 left to go in the final frame of regulation. It's too bad, my friend, Cooper Hopkins, that you couldn't be here. But I hope that you are enjoying and listening along at some point. As you know, we're keeping a long look at this as far as what is at stake. And this might be overtime. This might be a shootout. I mean, this could be. 2:45 left to go in the third. It's a 2-2 tie between Nashville and Calgary. And the puck went loose in the middle of the slot. But again, it was last touched by Nashville. Just brushed it away from Calgary stick. They're going to one-time that in between the circles. And Zadorov will find it, flip it in. And this is across the red line, and Lindholm is very upset about that icing call. He slams it down the red line, and the refs don't like that. I know that. 2:33 left to go in the third. So, Sissons, take a look at it. So, this was dumped in. Was that just before the red line? Because I'll tell you this, and I'm not even saying it as anyone that's a fan of either one of these teams. They usually give you a little liberty, about a half a skate blade when you clear it across the line. Don't normally call it. That one they called tight to the vest. Calgary did not gain that red line. That's a neutral zone draw. So Backlund lost the draw in the neutral zone. And this is an opportunity for Nashville. Nashville now trying to go left to right in this third period, but they only got 2:20 left to do so. It's a tie game, and the intrigue is as high as it could possibly be for a regular season game. It's the first regular season game that's essentially an elimination on this NHL 2022-2023 season. I'm very glad to be along with all of you on the Twitter Spaces and the YouTube side, whether it's a whole bushel full or just a select few. I appreciate it. In between the circle, Mangiapane shot it wide near the right side of the wall, and Calgary will try to do this again. Mikael Backlund, as this just got knocked away from him. Now it's 1:45 left to go in the third. Huberdeau off the entry. He sends it back for Backlund, and now Huberdeau stays patient in the high circles. Here's Weegar off his stretch pass, and now it's a chance to settle it down. Rasmus Andersson. Huberdeau got to shoot it. He doesn't. This goes off the left side of the cage. And holding on to the blue line is Rasmus. As one more time, the Flames will try to move this around and find a shot. It's Mangiapane near the left side of the red line now. Gets it back to Weegar. Here's Rasmus. Patient near the right side dot. It'll spin off the backhand pivot. Go Flames, go chant. Kadri. He finds Jonathan Huberdeau. Huberdeau. Sauce pass out of the air. Weegar in a good shooting position. Blocked again by Nashville. They've been excellent in that category tonight. Kadri into the circles and they'll fire. And this one's picked up by Philip Tomasino as it's sent back around. Some more body contact. Nazem Kadri trying to find the loose puck. And now Tomasino back in his own end. Kadri trying to lift. Gets the steal. Huberdeau will locate as Ritchie is there alongside Weegar. Picked up now by Kadri. Here's Weegar. Weegar into the deflection, trying to look for a chance for Coleman. Down to 38 seconds left to go in regulation. Now down to 35 as Nazem Kadri will play it to Mackenzie Weegar. Couple more rushes here, right to left, an opportunity for the Flames. It's a 2-2 game. Here's Dube, and this is a short side chance on the left side of the dot that's blocked by Saros, down to 20 seconds. 39 shots to 27. Here's a steal for Toffoli, but it's a Black Friday Mall phone booth. Can't find any room. Now down to 10 seconds, as this is collected by Nashville, and now Noah Hanifin has it for Calgary. Can't make any mistakes here. You're going to at least go to OT. Dube with the bomb. That's saved by Saros. And we go to overtime. Will we get the 2 points in the 3-on-3? Will we get the 2 points in the shootout? The only question remains is, however we get them, we know who's going to advance, at least in this season, to stay alive and who goes home. Because you got to get the 2 points however you get them in order to keep your season alive. 1 point does nothing, so loss either way eliminates the Flames or the Preds. And the 2 points keeps the season alive, but the Jets will control their own destiny because they have the advantage in points. They also have the game in hand. If the Jets win out, they hold WC2. But we will see what happens in between this overtime. Come right back.
You see, we are all connected to the holy body.
Major Crowder.
I like how they're showing Resident Evil 4 commercials. When I've had the game, I've only been able to play it for about 5-6 hours over the span of a couple of weeks. So quit showing me parts of the game I haven't seen yet. I'm trying to stay away from spoilers. No, Kelly Hurdy's talking about it on the broadcast and Sportsnet. You go from Pecorine to Yusei Saros, and this is the games remaining again for the Flames. It's just the Preds and the Sharks on Wednesday, and the Wednesday game will be meaningless if they don't get 2 points. And this game for Nashville, the rest of the two won't matter if they don't get the 2 points. That's what's at stake. That's what will keep the season alive. 2 points. Anything less than that, the other team's done. So one of these teams will be done after this, whether it's overtime or shootout. The Jets, they're feeling good. They got the win over the Sharks. They control their own fate. The Flames will need a little help, but if it ends up being the same amount of points, they own the tiebreaker against the Jets. So it's Sissons, Glass, and McDonagh for Nashville. Lindholm, Toffoli on the other end, I believe Rasmus Andersson. So overtime is underway. Whoever gets this extra point, season's still alive. Who doesn't is eliminated. That's what's at stake. 4:40 left to go in this OT. Nashville's got possession. Even if Nashville needs all the help they can get, they can still play spoiler against Calgary. So Philip Tomasino off the change as they've had the possession this whole time. Now the first 35 seconds, entry for Tomasino. This goes off the shoulder of Markstrom. And now the Flames have it. Jonathan Huberdeau says, hey, let's slow it down, fellas. And he'll make the change. It's a one-on-one, but the Flames need help. They're making their change as well. Here's a chance for Mikael Backlund. He does get his reinforcements, and that's Mackenzie Weegar. Now Weegar will put this back across the blue line here for Mikael Backlund. 3:55 left to go in this OT. It's Backlund. He'll make it now for Huberdeau. Huberdeau, his extra pass, and that was a severe angle slap shot of Backlund. Threw a pass out, and this will be erased. Mackenzie Weegar, he's got his fresh wheels apparently. He's able to get all the way back. He for sure will fire as this is collected now by Backlund. Backlund here for Weegar, and now Jonathan Huberdeau. It's Huberdeau and Weegar. Here's Weegar off the left pad of Saros. That would have ended the game. And now Kadri in off the change. Jonathan Huberdeau near the left side red line. Kadri's got a race for it as it's sent back down here for Noah Hanifin. 3:15 left to go in this OT. Here's Hanifin. Right side circle. This short side chance gets blocked by Nashville again. They're going to have about 25 shot blocks, and that's not an exaggeration. There's a stick twig that's taken out of the air, and one of the Predators has to race to get a new one. Here's a stretch pass off the one-on-one, and this is an opportunity for Tommy Novak as he will slow it down. Novak and toward the right dot, as now it's in behind the office of Markstrom. 2:45 left to go in the OT as it's picked up. McEachran will send this back around. Now in through the Flaming Sea. Nashville will take it all the way back. Nazem Kadri been out there for about 1:05 now, and it looks to be a little bit longer as he's kind of just shadowing Novak at this point. But Novak finally gets the entry again after the long pivot. Now in between the high slot, Nashville will pull it back. So Finifeyev, he was the one that scored the first goal, and now Stastny will recollect, and the ref made sure to get out of that one, and that's what the Flames will say, as this is picked up by Parlo Juusonen, and now collected by Cody Glass. Cody Glass across the sea, gets across the neutral zone, will get a shot on, and in full flight he shoots it toward the left side wall, as this is recollected by Glass, down near the left side dot. A cutting pass for one of the Nashville Predators just eluded the stick. And now recollected by the Flames. Almost dodged a bullet there. Maybe they did. Tell it to Toffoli now. With a minute 45 left to go in the OT. Toffoli gets it off the backhand. Leaves it here for Rasmus Andersson. Walking in. Oh, we missed the net. That would have ended the game. Soros was down and out. Here's Andersson. Slap shot saved from Toffoli. And now it goes the other way. It's a race for the puck. Can they make some moves? Tomasino. He skates in. Markstrom dives down, elects to play it. And now here's a rush for Elias Lindholm. It's Evangelista in his way. Elias Lindholm will cut it back. Send it back here for Weegar. Now toward the right side dot are the Flames. It's Huberdeau. As he makes this pass for Backlund. Second line's out there right now. Backlund, patient. Leaves it here for Weegar. Weegar will settle it back down. 55 seconds left to go in this OT. Again, it's win or go home. Doesn't matter how it happens. We're in overtime right now. It's picked up by Backlund. Gains the entry near the right side dot. He'll center it out and fire it wide. Mackenzie Weegar had an opportunity there. All he did was put his head down and shrug. With 44 and a half seconds, the Flames had two game-winning opportunities. The first one was Rasmus Andersson from the left circle, trying to keep it alive off the forehand. And then Toffoli with a slapper, and then Mackenzie Weegar off the one-time give. He missed the net. Soros probably had his season flash behind his eyes 2 of the 3 times, but it's still tied with 2-2 and 44 seconds left to go in this OT. What's at stake? Win or go home. If you don't get the 2 points, one of these teams is eliminated. The Jets control their own destiny the whole way, but at least this season can still continue to pick up the 2 points, either one. Otherwise, you'll be eliminated. Zigzagging into the zone. Here's Nashville. A good pass. And that was just to take the way off the stick left. It's Colton Sissons. Trying to keep it alive now. Sissons. Send this back across for McEachran. Now Toffoli dives. Makes a great play just to get this away to the neutral zone. But job's not done here as Sissons has it in the high slot. Still patient is Colton Sissons. He's got possession off the backhand as it's picked up now for McEachran. And now toward the right side of the red line, going for a backhand. And is this going to get picked up by the Flames? Yes, it is. We're going to go to a shootout. So the shootout will decide it. Whose season is going to continue, the Flames or the Preds, and whose season is going to end, the Flames or the Preds. We will decide it when we come back at shootout time. Can you believe it, guys? It will go down to a shootout as if we can get any more intrigue. Season decided on a shootout. You say that's lame. You know what, man? If you want the intrigue and you want regular season intrigue, you couldn't ask for more than that, though. I mean, the overtime was good. The Flames had the opportunity, right, 3 different times to try to finish it off. They shot wide twice. And you say Soros made a great save. So I know some people don't like it, but Connor McDavid doesn't like it. Serpent Kill says, let's go Flames. Again, the season is on the line. Guys, I appreciate you following along on this side. Let's have fun with it. I want the Flames to win just for my broadcast partner, Cooper Hopkins. I'm a broadcaster from Detroit, Michigan, but my partner is a lifelong Flames fan that I always work games with. He lives in Seattle, so we'll do these games on YouTube and Twitter Spaces. But yeah, he's my resident expert on that side. We do a lot of contests. We can only cover the first period together. So hopefully for his sake, that can make something meaningful for Wednesday. But the Jets still control their own destiny. But as of right now, you can still go to sleep feeling good, getting the win. I want the Preds to win because it'll be easier on the Jets to qualify for no other reason. That's what Ryan says as a Flames fan. That's as a Jets fan. That's what I get. That's what he made note of. That would make it much easier for the Jets and make less room for error. So Huberdeau, he's done well on these. He's not done so well on some others. Very slow skating near the right side dot, forehand. Waits out, scores! Jonathan Huberdeau gives the Flames the lead on the shootout, and now it's up for Markstrom to answer in round one. Carson says he obviously wants the Flames to win. Let's go, Preds. Great game either way. And Call Me K says, let's go. And Boo says, Ryan. So we got fans of the Jets, we got fans of the Flames, fans of the Preds all in here. And I'm glad that we can enjoy this one together. So here's an opportunity for Philip Tomasino. Can he tie it in round one? Forehand, no, he can't. Markstrom, he couldn't even really get the shot off. So Markstrom makes the save, or maybe just a blown opportunity for Tomasino. And if Calgary gets another one here, then we can see who takes it. So Matthew Taylor says finally he can score, and then Serpent Kill says let's go. Again, we know on that side where Serpent's going to feel is going to feel like I do alongside the broadcast partner. Again, I'm a Red Wings fan, where a broadcast partner is a Flames fan. Got to root for that side. We've been covering a lot of these. So Nazem Kadri, it's a chance to put the Flames in a world of hurt. Preds picked up off the backhand, and no, Saros makes the save a little bit too easy. Nazem Kadri, I'm not going to say he was in the middle of what he wanted to do, but you couldn't really fake out Saros. And again, Saros in game number 63 of the regular season, he's seen it all. Ryan just says good. We know where he is as a Jets fan. So Evangelista, he's going to get a chance to tie this one here for the Preds. Evangelista off the backhand, forehand, and a save by Markstrom as it's underneath him. And if Calgary scores here in round three, they will get the 2 points they need to keep their season alive. And Serpent Kill says Flame save, and Ryan just keeps saying boo. We know how he feels as a Jets fan. And you know what, my friend? The Jets still are in control of their own destiny. So here's Richie. Richie, backhand save by Saros. And it's going to come down to Jacob Markstrom. The season can end for the Nashville Predators if Markstrom makes the save. If the Preds get the goal, who knows? The Preds can still be alive, and they could end the Flames season. So it all comes down to this. Cody Glass, former Vegas Golden Knights product. He must score, or the Preds season is over. Cody Glass, forehand, scores! We're not done yet, and Nashville's still alive. Let's go to round four. Cody Glass keeps the Predators alive. Backhand, forehand, just gets it past the glove of Markstrom. And now you kind of wonder if you're the Flames, if you're gripping that stick, because it's Saros on the back end. Backlund got a score here. Backlund on his forehand, stalled by Saros with the left pad. If Nashville scores here in round four, it's lights out and the Flames will be extinguished. The Preds will keep their season alive, but they will need the Jets to lose some games if they want to get in WC2. Who's going to take it? Tommy Novak. He could take the Flames regular season and end it. Novak! Bang it forward, scores! The Flames are eliminated. Oh my goodness. It was Cody Glass, and now it's Novak. So the Flames season is over. A heartbreaker of epic proportions. And on the other end, The Predators are still alive. Admittedly, they would need tons of help. It's not likely, but what this does make, and this makes Ryan very happy on that side, this does make the Jets' job a lot easier. And I agree with Ryan on that side to say, Serpent, not to worry. Their team's going to be back next year. I think that they can still get a couple other pieces. But yeah, it's been a disappointing season. And if Cooper was here with me, he would say the same thing on that side. Again, I wish I could get his immediate reaction. I know what it's going to be. Disappointment on that end. I think we will still meet up for Wednesday. I know the Flames don't have anything to play for at that point against the Sharks, but maybe we can work and see what we want to do as far as coverage. Ryan says the Flames work too hard to not get better results with their top players need to cash in. You're correct on that one. 17 overtime losses now. Geez. Yeah, that says it all. And Matthew, on that side, because again, I talked about this with Cooper when we worked a lot of games. If you just flipped a couple of those, again, really, 3 of those in another direction, this wouldn't even be a narrative. But as it stands right now, the Flame season's done. And Nashville does need a lot of help, but it's not likely. So what was it again? 30 game one goal losses? Yeah. Yeah, it was something like that, Ryan, on that side. And it was also about the unofficial number on my end was over 95 posts. So yeah, it's a completely different conversation. You've all hit the nail on the head. Obviously, you're all very knowledgeable hockey fans from very much different fan bases. Again, we all are on that side. And again, thank you guys for following along. Hopefully, I can provide a little bit of excitement on that side at the end of the call. I understand the situation that it is. It's no fun to be on that end, but we'll figure out the assignment for Wednesday. Tomorrow, I will be here with the Jets and the Wild. I wasn't able to access the game, and you're great at narrating it. Thanks for the first time in the commentary. I appreciate it, Carson, on that end. Should never have come down to this, but the Jets have crapped the bed before. Thanks for the stream. So, yeah, I appreciate it. No problem, man. It's been a lot of fun. And I will see you guys on Tuesday between the Jets and Minnesota. That is a back-to-back. So that will leave a lot to still be determined. Let me look at our scores across the scoreboard before I officially signed out. Maybe killed the batteries on my recorder. Let me just look at the Kraken and the Coyotes, maybe. That is underway because that is 4 minutes. I can keep this alive here. I'll just finish that out and see if the Kraken can pull within 100 points. So they have a 3:55. I think there's going to be a stoppage. Jared McCann, I think, has scored the latest goal that I'm seeing right now on the Roots Sportsnet feed. Jared McCann, yeah, wired it past the Coyotes. It's 4-1 Seattle. So that's going to be big. That will push Seattle into a tie for 3rd place in the Pacific with 100 points. If the LA Kings continue to lose, they might find themselves having to hold on to the wild card. And essentially, what it could mean is a match with the Colorado Avalanche in the first round. Kings Avalanche would have a lot more intrigue to it rather than Kraken and Avalanche, because I feel like Seattle might lose earlier in the first round. That is no disrespect to Kraken fans. It's been a lot of fun watching them doing what they do in the second season. But it'd be a tall task only because the goaltending situation for Seattle is not that great. I wanted more bias from John, like a Steve Dangle podcast. So I could give you all the podcast stuff on that side and scream and yell, but I am one of those ones, Ryan, that is unofficially tries to be straight down the middle. I like to give you league coverage across all these teams. I don't play diehard, even when I cover my own team, which is the Red Wings. Admittedly, that's not a lot because they have been very poor throughout the year, but that is kind of the way that I like to do things. But when there is a tenor in which that I need to yell or get excited about, you bet your bottom dollar that I'm going to do so. They will be good again soon. I hope so, my friend, on that. So they've been waiting for a long time. I'm not trying to sound like a spoiled brat Red Wings fan, but speaking as the sense of a Detroit sports fan, although I've always been a global sports fan across the 4 major ones. Across a global perspective, it's been a tough decade here in Detroit. So it's tough. Get Bedard, no problem solved. Yeah, maybe that's what happens for Columbus or Chicago. Not likely here, but yes, you're correct. He seems to be that guy. So I will close out the third period of the Kraken and the Coyotes, and then we will finish off the stream. There's been so many in here that we might as well stay for the next few more minutes. What shall you say? We'll close this one out. So in our official game, again, I will give you the game story at hopelesssportsguy.wordpress.com. The Flames have been eliminated by the Nashville Predators. Once you know it, they took the lead in the shootout. They couldn't hold it in the third round. It was Cody Glass on the other end that started it, and it was finished off. And that's it. So Nashville keeps their season alive, but they need a lot of help from the Jets. I don't think they're going to get it. So a face-off win. This is a shorthanded opportunity, and this is shut off by Seattle. I got to see if that is Grubauer in net, or who that is on that. I don't have the rosters in front of me just because it's the final 3 minutes. Too many windows to pull up. And this is picked up here by Yanni Gourde, former Tampa Bay Lightning man. What do you guys think Seattle is going to do in this postseason? Do they got a chance? So Yanni Gourde, this gets away from Nick Schmaltz of Arizona and sent back down. Unless we'll touch the stick of the netminder, and hopefully I'll get a chance to see who was in the back of that goaltend, but I didn't get a chance to. My apologies. We're at Mullet Arena. I know that right now. Seattle's got a 4-1 lead. They're going to pull into a tie with the Los Angeles Kings. If the Kings don't get the win against the Canucks tonight, or at least get one, they won't hold them in the third spot. They'll be tied to Kraken for 100 points for wildcard spot numero uno. As this is picked up now off the backhand, and Arizona just trying to make something up on the power play, but maybe they're in the midst of a change. As this is a race for the puck. You get interesting camera angles here at Mullet with 2:20 left to go in the third. It's more, put out that way, more of an overhead. Is admittedly you're at Arizona State University. Gary Bettman says they want to get this in Tempe, Arizona, but you got to get this tax funded and the people that want to pay for it. And the only way people want to pay for it in Arizona is if they continue to put a better product on the ice. You have to do that first, and also develop the draft and develop talent. Boyd has it down to the right side, plays this off the backhand, and now this will be sent back. And behind the right side, Travis Boyd will take a look as this goes back in behind the office of, I believe, Decord, maybe Grubauer. Again, my apologies. I'll get to that when I see it. Again, we're just covering the last minute 35 in progress before I close out this recording officially, because we had enough of you in there. Wanted to give you a little bit of extra. So 4-1, Seattle's got the lead. As it's flipped back in by Yanni Gourde, and the defensive end takes a big body contact there for Schultz as he knocks a couple bodies down here for Seattle as this is recollected. And now we have a big-time scrum. Carson Soucy getting punched in the face and now serving up a couple uppercuts. He's just getting worked by Jack McBain. And McBain keeps punching on the left side of his face, and now they're tied up. And McBain delivering some severe uppercuts on Soucy. And now tags him again near the left side of his face. Throw the white flag, Carson. He's not been knocked down. And now the refs will push this one aside. Carson Soucy got worked a little bit there. So Serpent Kill says, thanks for the play-by-play. I got to go to bed now. Man, I feel so bad, Serpent Kill. You feel just like my broadcast partner on that side. I know that you're gonna feel sad on that side. He said the Jets will be joining your team soon. Hopefully that make you feel a little bit better. I will say realistically, I think the Jets have a chance in the first round for an upset side of it. But Serpent, I'm going to tell you this: if you're still here with me, my friend, it's going to be better in the second season. Calgary Flames still have an opportunity to buy a couple more players. The Milan Lucic cap hits 5.5. They'll shed some of it. So the next season's still wide open. But after that, there's going to be a lot of looking in that mirror in between Darryl Sutter and Brad Treliving as far as what's left. So the window's still wide open next year. I sincerely doubt, for as crazy as everything went this year, that that's going to continue again, because you had struggling years for Weegar, Huberdeau, and Nazem Kadri. So Bedard needs to go to Detroit or Calgary. Yeah, that's not happening, but that would be nice. That would be nice. But you can't count on 3 down career years all at once. Maybe that's the Darryl Sutter system, but who knows? Edmonton's time is now. If they don't win now, their window closes fast. That one, Ryan, you nailed that one out of the park. That's a grand slam with the bases loaded. Absolutely. So Joey Decord was the one in that. 4-1 is still the score line. 1:16 left to go in the third. Looks like he is going to go back to his net. I was going to say he's going to stay in, but of course he is. He's up by 3. As there's a lot of Climate Pledge fan arenas, the Seattle Kraken, his third start, Joey Decord. So they're showing some of Joey's timeline, and this was, well, he was at Arizona State. How very cool. He's playing at Arizona State right now, Mullen Arena. Johnny Reynolds says, what up? We're just giving you some extra time here between the Arizona Coyotes and the Seattle Kraken before we close out the stream. It was the Preds that ended the Flame season, but there were so many of you up here there, I wanted to close it up. Crackheads have this game in the bag. The Coyotes are not known for comebacks. No, they're not. This was just the intrigue that I wanted to follow along to see if the Kraken would catch the Kings. So that was the last thing that we could do before we close it. So here's a power play, and now Seattle has it near the right side wall, and this is saved by Arizona. We'll do it again with a minute left. I appreciate the foot traffic and the likes and everything else. It was very chaotic toward the end. I know a lot of you guys wanted to jump in considering what would happen, and I don't blame you. I'll be doing the same thing. We do have a development after 2. The LA Kings have taken a 1-0 lead. That is big as far as Seattle implications. That would hold them into wildcard spot numero 1. If Seattle gets the extra 2 points, they keep the 3rd spot in the Pacific Division. It's 42 seconds left to go in the 3rd as it's picked up now by Arizona. Again, for all intents and purposes, this game was done. And now Ryan Donato lost it. And this is cleared down the ice for Joey Decord. Former Arizona State University, what is it, Sun Devil, I think, on that side. I hope I'm getting the name correct on that end. He plays it down here for Gord as he gets the entry in the left side of the faceoff dot. Seattle will get to the century mark in points. They're going to beat the Arizona Coyotes, and they certainly take care of their business. As this is a slap shot, it is a sizzler, and this is stopped off the left pad. Another opportunity for Seattle as they're playing this out. They were electing some shots, even though they're up by 3. But with 3 seconds left, it looks like Seattle is going to take a 4-1 lead. So a little bit of bonus action here for you, but I will have the complete game story for Nashville and Calgary after this one is over. And then I will see you tomorrow for Minnesota and the Jets. So I hope you join me then. I believe that one is going to be 8 Eastern time. Lions could win their division next year, says Ryan. That is the only hope I think Detroit fans have. And that essentially tells you, Ryan, my friend, that hell has frozen over because the Lions have sucked since, 1955? So that's where that tells you that. So Seattle wins. They get to 100 points. They have enough already to make the playoffs. Do I like the Detroit Lions, says Johnny. Even though I live in Detroit, I'm not really a Lions fan because they don't give us a reason to be a fan. Although I will acknowledge that this team is on the right track. Maybe Dan Campbell is that guy, but I think Brad Holmes is the architect setting it up. It could be worse. It could be the Bears. Yeah, the Bears right now, but at least the Bears historically have been so much better than the Lions and the Packers as well. That NFC North is not very good, is it, on that end? So it's got to be a division for the Lions, you would think. So I'll see you tomorrow between Minnesota and the Jets. Hope you join me then. Should be a lot of intrigue. Peace out, guys. Thank you so much. Talk to you then. Packers could be dead last, says Ryan. Yep, have fun. We'll see you tomorrow.